Jesus. I feel like I haven't been on in forever.
Oh, sweet Amber's coming?
Huh?
I said Amber's coming?
Who's Amber?
Oh, I thought you said Amber.
No. I said I haven't been online in forever.
Oh.
Ooh, no.
It's been one of them days.
I only know one Amber, and if I can get her on my panel, it'll be a fun night.
Uh-oh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, girl, that would be so much fun. So, did you watch any of that stream at all?
No, I'm not even gonna lie. I totally missed it all.
Okay, I need Sass in here. Sass, go into Discord and grab the link, please. Because we're going to give a little bit of talk about HIPAA. Hi, Evelyn. Yes, exactly. I don't think I've ever seen you cuss, Evelyn. She is very upset. Oh. So what happened? Hi, Dragon. So what happened is, I don't know what went on, the personal things that went on between like B and Randy and Katie. But what I do know is this woman spent half of that stream violating HIPAA. She gave a name of someone that she's counseled, and then she tried to justify that by saying that she worded it wrong, but that was after she tried to justify it by saying that it was okay because the person didn't pay her any money. It doesn't matter. Once you become accredited, your standards rise to DEA set standards. It doesn't matter if you're getting paid or anything. If you have those credentials, you cannot, under any circumstances, discuss your patients, whether they paid you or not. And then on top of that, she discussed that person's habits by saying that that person would not stop texting her, and that eventually she just said that she told the person to get help. So my question is if you have a psychiatrist and you look online and you see that the psychiatrist, or you go to the stream, which she did say that she sends a lot of her quote unquote patients to this community. So there's a good chance one of them saw that stream. And if you were one of her patients and you realize that she's sharing private messages, no matter the reason, wouldn't you start to think, what if she shows my records?
Yeah.
I
That is
mean,
pretty.
Janie, do you want a link? Because I would
Hi.
love to hear what you say. Hi, Sass.
Hi, Sass.
So
Hi, Crystal.
did you see the stream?
No.
Okay, well, it's
But
still going on.
I popped. Okay, so I saw it. I saw it was popped up, and so I went in there for just a second. And the weird part is when I did, I saw like something was going on with like Pirate Calypso thing. You know, I didn't say something or whatever. And then Katie was saying, you know, that's why I was trying to clear it up. And then Mama Beth said this was a person that go back to OB's chat and look, because whoever the person that she was talking to, she was like, I didn't consult with her, and I didn't treat her professionally. I told her to seek help. And then I heard Discord go off, so I went into Discord instead of being in that stream, because I was like, oh, whatever, I don't know.
Well, here's the thing that actually happened. She didn't misspeak. She didn't misspeak at all, and you can tell, because at one point, Katie asked her if she was friends with Telfer, and her entire tone of voice changed completely. And it was like, that voice, I believe. But the voice that she was using before that was so calm and calculated. It was too calm to be the truth.
Who's the she that you're talking about?
Mama Beth, the quote unquote psychiatrist, which I don't believe. Not for one second.
She's not a psychiatrist. She's a psychologist.
Well, just a second ago, she says, I'm not a psychologist. I'm a psychiatrist. Learn what that means.
No, she said the opposite. She said, I'm not a I was there. That's when I went in. She said,
Oh,
I'm
my
not a
bad.
psychiatrist. I'm a psychologist.
Apologies.
And she
Yes,
is a
that's what she said.
psychologist. Yes.
No, I don't think
yes.
she is at all. I don't think she is at all.
Oh,
Because no psychologist in their entire freaking right state of mind, somebody's echoing, would ever violate HIPAA the way that she did. Am I right, Janie?
Am I making you echo?
Maybe.
I think you did when you first came in, but I think it's better now.
Yeah, it's better now.
Okay. Okay, now what was your question, Minnie?
So the amount of times that she violated HIPAA in that stream is appalling.
Yeah, people were her actual patients, but the amount of times she violated her ethics was appalling too.
Mm-hmm. Very much. And go ahead and say what you were going to say to her, because I know you kept getting cut off, and we will not cut you off.
Okay, well, when you take all these ethics courses and everything, and Sassy, you probably know this too, because it's pretty across the board. You're given,
and I'm a pharmacy student, so
you're given all these ethic questions to ponder, and one of them is the one where if, say, a man comes in and you're counseling him, and he tells you that he's been cheating on his wife, and he wants to tell his wife after all these years. Ethically, should you advise him that that would be okay to do? Are you guys familiar with this question?
Yeah, the scenario questions.
Yes. And so the basic consensus has always been that it depends on his reasons for wanting to do that. If he wants to do it because he feels guilty, ethically, the advice would be, that's not a good reason to hurt your wife in that manner. If she's had no idea up until this point, why would you tell her something that's going to hurt her so deeply just to appease your guilt?
Your own guilt. Yeah, just to appease your own guilt. You're wounding someone else.
Exactly.
So you have to have a better reason for doing that.
And so, they're beat over your head, exactly like Evelyn said. So you're supposed to carry these into your real life too. And I mean, a lot of us screw up, and she was trying to say, oh my gosh, did you just cuss? Well, yes, I cussed. I'm a human being. But
she cussed too.
Exactly. And the ethics that we carry into that we should always be mindful that as a person in a position such as she says she has, you're kind of always on. You're never really off work. Even though, you have to learn self-care and how to do that. If people know that's what you do, you have to be careful what you say to people. And so she knew that a kinder, gentler way to tell a friend, if you really care about that friend, is to just say it, like say, I'm concerned about some of the things that I've heard that so-and-so has said about you. And leave it at that. And if Katie said, well, will you show me proof? The next step would be to say, I'm not comfortable showing you that proof because I feel like, it could hurt you, and I don't want to hurt you that way.
Right, exactly. And the other question I had is, so she said that she recommends some of her patients, quote unquote, are recommended to this community by her. And for a second, I was like in defensive mode, and Angie was like, I could ask you the same thing, but I forgot I actually asked her a question. So, and sorry, Angie. That's why I paused. If there's a good chance that one of her patients could be in there watching that stream, and one of her patients seeing her talk about giving out private information, and then have to think, is she going to show people other private information? I don't know, like my medical records?
Exactly. And to give them like the pass to come into this community, like to say, go watch. What are you doing? Oh, like to say, go watch MFW's channel or something. That would be like completely inappropriate because, it's not. If she knows that she goes around to these places, it's not the kind of relationship you're supposed to form with your patients.
Right. Like,
well,
and truthfully, Janie, I mean, and I wonder honestly if you concur with me on this. with these streams, if you are, it's just on my side with the area that I work in, which is mainly focusing on abuse and, the effects of cluster B personalities on the targeted individuals and helping them heal and those kinds of things. I would never recommend them come into these emotional streams.
Yeah, and that was
I'm trying to get them out of that emotional state. I'm trying to get them up into peace and mindfulness and being more aware. I don't need them constantly dragged into crying and screaming matches, and I don't want them to go into that.
Yeah, that was going to be my next point, actually, is that you would be telling them to go into an environment where it's not, I mean, there are moderators, but moderators,
Sure.
just, they aren't keeping.
Well, we know what these streams are. We know what these streams are. They're very, very, very emotionally charged. A lot of them.
Yes.
Not all of them, but especially over the last, 6 months or so, a lot of them are very, very emotional with people fighting back and forth, etc. And if I'm working with someone who's coming from an environment where they've been witnessing fighting, they've been attacked, they've been, brainwashed, and they've been in this emotional state, the CPTSD emotional brain, and I would not advise that they come into this little corner of YouTube and hang out.
No,
Hell no.
not at all. If anything, there may be,
Right.
I could see the reasoning for giving a general statement like, YouTube has some interesting things on blah, 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 whatever subject matter. But I would never direct them to a community where I am known to hang out, first of all.
Well, that too. Yeah, of course.
Where that it's not, it could very well be a triggering community.
And that's another thing.
Yeah,
Kimberly
constantly
says,
triggering.
what I said earlier is when someone said, oh, well, you can't do that, it's against the ethics or whatever, she said, well, she didn't pay me. It doesn't matter, because once you have those credentials, the DEA holds you to an entirely different standard.
Yep. And she said it's different in every state. Well, that doesn't matter. What's not different,
DEA is federal.
and what's not different is that as a professional, you should hold yourself to those ethics regardless of where you are.
Exactly. I mean, it was disturbing. And the way that, I go back to the fact that she had directed some of her, this is where all of my questions come from, because she says that she directs her patients to the community. She didn't specify a channel. But once you get in the community, you pretty much learn all the channels. So there was a good chance that one of them was watching. And if we keep that in mind with her behavior on that video, it's incredibly disturbing. The way she was mocking Randy and then telling Randy that she wasn't being mature, the way that she was talking over everyone and then getting mad because someone was talking over her. I mean, I just felt like we were all chilling on the freaking playground.
Exactly. And another thing that set me off that I just remembered was when she said, is that your alternate personality? What, do you have DID? Oh, I almost went off.
That's hard.
What? Wait a minute. What? She said, who'd she say that to?
She accused Randy of having another identity.
Yeah, she said, that's your alternate identity speaking. What, do you have DID? Which pissed me off because, first of all,
wow,
name people.
That's a low.
Illnesses. This is why people are so afraid to get help. And to
wow. I'm just floored because immersing myself in this study, obviously it's a big focus is DID, as you know, Janie.
Yes.
And even if someone is in a disassociated state, if you really truly as a professional, I'm almost in tears right now. If you are a professional and you believe that someone is in a disassociated state, attacking them and saying, what is this, your other personality talking or something like that is absolutely, that's absolutely the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yep.
You don't do. I'm sorry.
And do you know how hurt someone?
I have to mute for a second. Okay.
Sorry,
I have to mute.
She's feeling right now exactly how I felt when she said it.
I mean, people don't understand. Well, I mean, a lot of people do understand. I shouldn't say it that way. But when you get that diagnosis, all right, or you get accused of that shit, okay, and it comes from someone who may or may not be licensed, I'm of the opinion that she's not, but that's my opinion. I'm allowed to have one, uh, especially in the wake of her not willing to prove it. So, that can be incredibly damaging. So now this person's going to take this person's advice that claims that she has a degree or whatever, and then they're going to live their life like that. And then one day they're going to go to an actual doctor, one that doesn't spend her life on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and find out that that was wrong. And then they've lost like a good chunk of their life believing there was something wrong with them.
Yep.
I
And
mean,
the
it's
thing is,
incredibly damaging.
we're supposed to be advocates for clearing the mental health stigma away so that people can come and get help and not feel ashamed. And what she did when she said that is anyone in that room who heard that and heard her doing it as a sarcastic, making fun of someone, what, do you have DID, will now think, oh my God, I need to be ashamed of this.
Exactly.
And
It's
Exactly.
disgusting. It is really disgusting to watch these platforms keep going down the drain one by one because these people are getting their heads are too big for their shoulders here lately.
Mm-hmm.
Well, beyond, I acknowledge your point, Crystal. I completely acknowledge your point. But to Janie's point, a lot of people in this community have wrestled with things like addiction and things like that. And all of those things drive you into an emotional brain. And we have emotional streams. And I have struggled to try and put a voice out there to stop the emotional streaming. If creators have problems with each other, they need to take it away from the viewers. And I know that some of the viewers are like, well, we want to know. And that's fine. Maybe it could be a snippet instead of a stream where it's constantly worked out on live. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
With consideration of the audience going through this emotional turmoil with them. And my horror at this is that we are trying to embrace being, mentally aware that there's illness. Mental illness is something that can be treated, and that, therapy is there to help, and that these things that are side effects, which are, CPTSD or PTSD or dissociative identity disorder, all of these things that seem to kind of come around with these kinds of problems, we don't want them stigmatized, and we certainly don't want the idea that a professional who is working to help these people is behind the scenes like, oh, that's your other personality talking. Like,
Exactly.
We don't want them having that, that kind of, they're talking, psychologists are talking behind my back, and they're talking degradingly or detrimentally or laughing about it in some way or something like that. We want that. We want the idea. I mean, I think, Janie, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm kind of speaking for you too here, and people in the chat too, because I know we have some psychological professionals in the chat. But we want people to understand that with problems that we might see or talk to anyone about, we are not in a position that we are judging or would ever throw that in their face.
Exactly.
Yep, I agree.
It was disgusting. It was a disgusting display of childishness. I mean, it was putrid. I can't think of a better word. It was absolutely putrid the way she was acting. I mean, in the past, I've seen her streams. I've seen her streams go live. I was subbed until tonight. I did unsub. I will not stand for that behavior from a supposed and purported medical professional. But before I would get the notifications that she was going live, and I would just kind of be like, oh, okay, she's talking again. And I would just leave her alone. I didn't love her. I didn't hate her. I didn't like her. I didn't really know her. But tonight I have learned everything I need to know about her. And now I no longer care. And I know she doesn't care about me. because we don't know each other.
Yeah.
But what she did tonight was below the board. She absolutely violated HIPAA. That is if, and it's a big if, she falls under the standards to which she has to follow it, meaning if she has a degree. She violated it in a huge way. And saying that that person did not pay her does not matter because, as someone stated in the chat, yeah, well, up until just a couple of seconds ago, none of us knew that she went to you for help.
Exactly.
And now everybody knows.
And then she wants to get under the umbrella of, well, I advised her as a friend. Well, you don't get to do that. Once you've gotten your license and all of that, and you have outed someone in a stream, you don't get to backtrack and then protect yourself under the umbrella of friendship. Because even at that, that's pretty shitty friendship. But the first part of any kind of mental health work, and please, if you think differently, let me know. But the first part is always gaining trust and convincing people that they have nothing to be ashamed of, and that they are not crazy, and that you are not judging them. And the mental health professionals work so hard at that really the hard work can't even start for at least several months, because you're just laying the groundwork for some trust. And someone goes into one of these streams and hears that kind of stuff coming out of someone who is a quote unquote psychologist, you have just set that person back, because they will think every psychologist is judging them, that every psychologist is sitting back in their private time talking about
exactly
the cases. Yeah, that
and
was my
Metallic just
point.
said,
That was my point, Janie. That was my point is, other patients, and Captain Napton said it in the chat. She said that her friend has DID, and if she would have heard that, like from a psychological professional, if she would have heard that, she would have been devastated. And that's what we're trying to overcome, is the stigma. And it's so hard for a lot of these people to trust talking about these very personal, scary situations in the first place.
Yes.
And you know what? The other thing is, I want to address two things that Metallic said. The first thing that Metallic said is so incredibly simple. It's almost awe-inspiring. It's fine for her to behave like that, but as soon as she self-identified as a mental health professional, she made this about her job. And also, so basically, Metallic, correct me if I'm wrong, she's allowed to act that way, but as I was saying before, no matter who pays you or if you're in an office or on the internet, once you get your degree, you are held by DEA standards and nothing lower than that, which means it doesn't matter. You're going to be held accountable for your HIPAA violations. And also, you are correct. She says she can't talk to her husband about clients. My mom's a medical coder. She can't even talk. She can't even say a name. She can't tell me if one of my friends is in the hospital. She'll lose her job. I mean, and she works in the office. She doesn't even deal with the patients. She can't even tell me anything.
Yes.
So the janitors are even under, they can't even talk about patients. So I don't know what she's thinking, but
what you guys, what are people in the chat are talking about? She did the same thing as STS and company did. Elf said that. Hi, Elf. And then they're talking about like sharing DMs and stuff. What are they talking about?
okay, so I don't know if you were here. I wasn't here, but I did get to catch up. Thank God for Dr. Koala. But the Porch and Tefler auctioned off private DMs.
I
and
know
phone calls.
that part, but they're saying she did the same damn thing as STS and company did. What are they talking about DMs? What happened with that?
STS was auctioning off private DMs.
No.
Right, I know that part.
Tonight. Mama Beth, the part that I wasn't going to talk about because I wasn't part of it and I don't want to insert myself in that part is the fact that, but I'll briefly mention what happened. Beth apparently gave Katie private DMs with B talking bad about Katie, and it all looked like it was very calculated. And was
okay. That's what they're talking about. I just want to make sure I knew.
Right. And then she said, no, I did it because Katie and I are close. Funny enough, Katie never said anything. In fact, Beth stayed the whole entire stream trying to tell us how Katie feels.
Guys,
I don't know if anyone else caught that.
I thank you for having me up here, and I do want to talk about this like another time too. But Nippy's waiting on me, so I got to run.
Okay, darling.
Love you. Thank you.
Janie, it was good running into you.
You too. Thank you.
Okay,
Bye.
From what I'm understanding is, I'm listening to this from both aspects of. It sounds to me like this woman 1 minute she's saying was a client, but then the next minute she's saying like she gave her advice like a friend would. But my mind's sitting here listening to it, and I'm sorry if I go in and out because his truck's loud. But my outlook to it, sitting from the back and not have watched any of it, to me, it sounds like you not only just kind of hurt yourself with the HIPAA laws if this was a client, but if this was a friend, how could you sit there and go on a stream and laugh about it and literally belittle somebody that much who came to you as a friend and you gave her advice? Exactly. I mean, either way, it still looks really shitty. I'm sorry, but in my eyes, that's, you kind of fucked yourself on this one.
Exactly. And also the fact that she said in the chat in front of everyone, okay, on panel, she says, what does it matter? You're all drug addicts anyway. Every single one of you go to pain clinics. I'm not a drug addict. In fact, I don't even take narcotics, period. So she can kiss my lily white ass.
That's even more sick because I'm sorry, I never had a drug addiction, but I have a lot of friends who have.
Yeah, I've never had a drug addiction either, but I have a lot of friends who have. I have friends who have been alcoholics. I have a couple of friends who are currently alcoholics. They're struggling with their addiction and they're in it. And I mean, I know people who have had all kinds of issues and problems and all kinds of mental health challenges, including someone with DID. So, yeah.
Yeah, Captain, she did say that. Pissed me off too, Lacey. Lacey, I haven't seen you in a few days, but to be fair, I've been gone a few days. So.
It's just, this is why I stopped watching everybody lately, because it's just horrible. It's disgusting.
It was a shit show. Now, I would not be upset at all. I'm not really upset. I'm annoyed, as per my description of this video. If she wasn't going around claiming to be a professional, that's the only reason. She can talk about whoever she wants to talk about as long as she deals with consequences. But when you talk about shit under the guise of being a medical professional, then the entire narrative changes.
Yes.
And that's the only reason that I was annoyed, because none of what she did was right.
And honestly, if I was to see people outside of this community, right, and then direct them in here, I would have to keep track of the fact that my patients they may not be typing in chat. They might be watching at any given time. So I need to make sure that I'm not behaving in such a way that I would have to behave just as professionally as I would if they ran into me standing outside of my office.
Exactly. And a couple people in chat said that their psychologist or their therapist have stated to them, I will never acknowledge you in public.
Right. So, but what I mean is that my demeanor would have to be the same. I would have to be aware that my patients could possibly be watching and that I keep my P's and Q's and I don't, for instance, let my hair down and start, especially if they know my channel, if they know like I have a channel and I have content, etc. And I would just want them to see a professional way of dealing with all kinds of mental health challenges, right? So not calling names, not getting into that kind of banter, not going down the emotional road, kind of taking the high road and being outside of that, so to speak. Because I've encouraged my patients to come here and watch these things. I don't want to be in the fray. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And like you said, like if people are on that, I don't know if I'm going to, or I don't know if I'm not going to, kind of line on whether or not they're going to see a professional, and they see the way she acts, like you said, it can turn them completely off of getting medical attention. And also, I mean, it's kind of like that doctor that just got in really big trouble for like dancing during surgery while the patient was out and showing the patient cut open. I mean, it's exactly the same thing. You are violating your patient's privacy, whether they paid for it or not. It's just wrong.
I'm just really in shock and really hope that how I mean Katie gets a lot of people watching her streams and not everyone's participating in chat. And I hope that everyone who heard all this, that there aren't people who are reeling, who may have been thinking about seeking psychological help and then are thinking second guessing themselves because of that. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
I and anyone who was impacted, I hope that you understand that that's not normal. That's not what everyone does, and that's not appropriate.
Metallic, do you want a link? Let's see, because apparently Metallic knows quite a bit about this situation. But anyway, the other thing, what I was gonna say, oh yeah. So the one thing that I can't stand is a hypocrite. Okay. Um, so oftentimes as humans we make mistakes or we say something or that doesn't always go along with what we do, and that's understandable as long as you own up to it and try to never do it again. But her whole behavior in that stream was so hypocritical. It was childish. If I was one of her patients and I came in and saw that behavior, I would no longer be a patient.
Right. But then you would also be second guessing mental health professionals in general, because that behavior sounds extremely like volatile, right? So you would take a step back, like, well, maybe there's no reason to help out. There's no reason to reach out to someone to help me if everyone just acts like this anyway.
And
Right?
also, if you look online and you just type in Mama Beth and you look at all the videos that other people have made about her,
I
it's
never have.
disturbing.
I never have.
It's absolutely disturbing. She's been accused of stalking. Now, I'm not saying this is true. This is just what I saw in the videos, okay? Absolutely not saying I know this for a fact or that it is actually true. She's been accused of stalking, mentally abusing her daughter. Like I said, what I saw, not what I'm accusing her of. I mean, these
Just
videos are out there.
this is what's been put out there is all you're
Yeah,
saying. This
yeah.
is what other videos
Mhm.
have said.
Not that I've said it. Just type in Mama Beth IBL. You'll see a few of them on there. You might have to scroll a bit. So then she tries, that's right, Rennie, because then she tries a very good tactic of backing up a lie before the lie is called out. And this is preemptively protecting herself from getting called out. And this has to do with her LinkedIn page where it says that she only took online life coach courses. And before anyone even said anything about it, she goes, look how long ago it was updated. It's just my, I took some courses online and that's all that was up there. You would think that if you were accredited, you would put more than online classes on your freaking LinkedIn. Okay, hold on. But her defense, the guy that made those videos was, and like I said, Rhodey, I don't know. That's just what I've seen. I'm not accusing her of that at all. I'm not saying that that's true or anything like that. Just that I have seen the videos and they were disturbing. And but yeah, I mean it was
Wait,
just
Beth C just typed a comment.
what?
She said, I am upset because she is saying that anyone who sees a therapist is being called crazy. She said that, or that's your feeling about it? Beth.
No, she said that.
Do you see that comment? I am
Yeah.
upset because
Yeah.
she is saying
did say
anyone who sees a therapist is being called crazy. What?
That's what they called her out on too on the panel. They said, "Well, we've heard you calling, your patients crazy," and she just kind of laughed it off and gave some little deflection, little, snippet of nonsense.
No,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. No, no. People with who have mental illness are not crazy, okay? Just gonna say that loud and clear.
Mhm.
People with mental illnesses and mental challenges are not crazy, okay?
I mean, everything. Now, listen, guys, listen. She could prove us all wrong, okay? Very easily, incredibly easily. She could show us her qualifications. Now, I know if I worked real fucking hard for something, like when I get out of pharmacy school and someone goes, "You're not a real pharmacist," guess what the fuck I'm gonna do? I'm gonna show you my credentials. Now, that's her choice. Maybe she doesn't want to, and that's fine. But until that day, she cannot get mad when people don't believe her if she's not willing to prove herself. And that's fine too. But if you're going to act like that and pretend, in my opinion, pretend that you are not a medical professional, but you are claiming to be one and you are counseling under the false title of one, you are 110% in the wrong and you need to be stopped because that is damaging. It is mentally and sometimes could be physically in the form of suicide damaging.
Did Crystal just drop out? I think Crystal dropped. Yeah, I think everyone dropped out.
Janie had to go, but I think Crystal will come back when her signal comes back.
Okay, IBL put in the chat and she said that she's going through something right now and she's supposed to see, she just saw her therapist on Thursday and she's feeling some kind of way right now. Like she's not feeling okay right now.
Elf, do you need to call
So
your psychiatrist,
IBL,
please?
just in the brief moments right now, if you could just take some deep breaths through your nose and breathe out your mouth and just kind of, I know you're feeling what you're feeling, but just try and do a little bit of self-care right now, just to kind of do that, just to kind of breathe and be in the moment right now.
Do you
Because
have an
it's,
emergency line to your psychiatrist?
if you need to do that, if you
Right.
need to reach out in an emergency way, then I'm sure that there's a number that you can call.
Mhm.
If you need to go to the emergency room, obviously, then advise you to do that. If you're just feeling some kind of way and you're sitting with it, you might want to get in touch with the office tomorrow or something. But I hope you're not feeling that you should not reach out to your therapist.
Yes, please
I
don't
hope
be
you're not
embarrassed
feeling,
about that.
yeah.
Hi, Amanda. I sent you a link if you want one. It's in
That
your
whatever you're going through, Elf, I hope it's not that you're feeling that seeing a therapist or going to a therapist is a mistake, because it certainly isn't.
And also, Ash, it doesn't matter whether or not it's doxed because licensure is public record. They can see her DEA number. Well, I don't know if they can see her DEA number. Maybe not. Anyway, they can see her name and they can see what her license is, and they can also see when it was issued and when it expires. That's why she doesn't want to show anyone because she doesn't have it. So,
Yeah, Elf isn't typing in chat. If you're still listening, sweetie, if you just want to sit there for a second, that's fine. But whatever's going on, however you're feeling, if you need to talk to someone now, certainly you can go to the emergency room. They do have psychological professionals on call, so they'll get someone for you. And
mhm.
if you need to call an emergency number for your therapist and you have one, then do that. And if you're just taking a second and you're going to be back in here, well, then you can obviously do that too. And we're just here. But I think everyone in the chat is saying that they care about you and they're just, they want you to be okay.
And yes, Ash, I know that's what you were saying. I was just explaining it further. Because like I said, if you're going to give someone, the bottom line comes down to this. If you are going to give advice and conversation to someone under the term of medical professional, you have someone's life in your hands. I don't care what kind of medical professional you are. You could be a fucking foot doctor, okay? You could be a podiatrist, and you would still have that patient's life legally and an obligation in your hands. And to lie about that or to not prove that what you are doing is true is not only wrong, but I don't know, I'll have to look up the laws, but isn't there something against not showing your credentials if you're a doctor or a therapist or a psychologist, whatever?
About not showing them?
Yeah.
Like, you mean if someone asks?
Like if you're a patient and she has to show, right? Not just the
I
community.
believe,
I'm not saying show us. I mean like a patient.
yeah, I believe that they have to be visible. I believe that they have to be where you can see them.
Right. And that's why most doctors have them in nice, way more expensive than my car frames on their doctor's office walls. But yeah, hold on. Did anyone notice at the end Mama Beth mentioned counseled person's name again? She proceeded to tell that person that she saw this person talking badly about Mama Beth on someone's way. It was okay, and the other thing is what she said about that other person that she first I love you too, Ash, that she first said that she counseled her. Then she said, I counseled her and she wouldn't stop texting me. Then she followed up with, I told her to seek help. Then she followed up with, she didn't pay me. And for the next explanation, she said, no, 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 I've misspoken. I was only advising her as a friend. And I don't know about in Mama Beth's world, but we have a name for what that's called, and it's backpedaling because people are calling you out on your shit and you have no way to prove yourself. None. Prove me wrong. I'd love for her to prove me wrong. I mean, I absolutely would. I would apologize immediately. Immediately. And then I would tell her how abhorrent her behavior was as a medical professional.
Well, someone said that the chat's down, that the stream's down.
Mm-hmm. I don't let's see. Blue Ridge says, Minnie, I'm sure even as a student, you know that you have to be careful giving advice on drugs. Yep. Because you are a student, you are still a trusted person to the people. Yes, I can still get in trouble for giving advice about drugs. I can be, for lack of a better term, excommunicated from the program altogether. Like, if I was to give out, medical advice beyond, say, yes, you can take Tylenol and ibuprofen together because they have different mechanics, so you're not technically overdosing. I can say that if someone asks me, can I take these two together? But I can't say, you should go and take some morphine. That would be great for you right now. I can only say, I can read the SIG code, which is what the directions are. I can explain the SIG code, and I can direct them to the pharmacist that filled it. That's all I can do.
Right. And basically everything that you would explain with that is available to them if they were to go look.
And you know what's even funnier is when I worked at Walgreens in Nashville, many times, okay, this was in an affluent neighborhood, so many times these women would come around and they would be like, well, I want to get some vitamins. And even though my pharmacist graduated from one of the top pharmacy schools in the United States, summa cum laude, by the way, he would tell them, I cannot tell you which vitamins to take, and I cannot advise you to buy them until you speak with your doctor.
Right.
And this is a man who has all his credentials on the wall in those ridiculously expensive frames. Okay, so there's no question what he is, because you can also look up his name and get his license number. See what I'm saying here? Even that,
Yeah.
with all those credentials, he will never even advise anyone on fucking vitamins.
Right.
So,
well, Ash said something. She said, let's put it simply, regardless of what the text from B to Rainbow said, it's obvious that Rainbow and Mama Beth both had an agenda in this. They obviously got together and discussed beforehand.
exactly.
Is that what that doesn't have to do with what we're talking about?
No, it's what happened. It's what triggered Mama Beth to go up on that panel. And here's my other question. She was like, well, I'm owning up to this because I didn't want anyone else to get blamed. That's bullshit too, because why didn't you just say in the beginning, I fucking sent it? Why did you wait for the other person to get pounded and accused for it before you said anything? That doesn't make you an honest person. That makes you caught. That's what it makes you. It makes you caught red-handed. She said, and decided to send it to Katie now. Why did they want to do that? Because they care? Really? No. Mama Beth goes into anti-B and Randy mode at the hint of a problem. Yes, she does. Yep, she does. Because I'm honest, Evelyn said, in quotation marks. Um, I have a question. Who paid for that dinner? Isn't that a form of payment? And who goes on a trip? You're right, Leanie. It is considered a form of payment. You are completely right. Are you still there, Sass?
Yeah. And
Okay.
who go? I'm reading the Leanie Bo Beanie to you, comment. Leanie Bo Beanie, your name I always have the hardest time typing out. Leanie Bo Beanie to you. I have a question. Who paid? You, it's the same one you just read, but I just don't understand it. I have a question. Who paid for the dinner? I don't know what dinner that she's referring to. Isn't
It
that
was
a
a
form
dinner
of payment?
Sorry, it was a dinner right before Mama Beth sent the screenshots to Katie. I believe, I'm not sure. Leanie, can you please specify? Was she having dinner with said patient that she outed, or was she having dinner just to be having dinner? Because I didn't get that she was with a patient.
Yeah, because the other part of the comment is, and who goes on a trip to do something like that, that other than being nosy and vindictive? So there was some trip too. I don't know.
I don't know either. I only caught like the middle of the stream. Amanda, do you want your link? It's in your DM. I wasn't paying attention if you already answered. Listen,
Yeah,
guys,
Amanda, if anyone was there the entire stream, or if anyone, I mean, maybe we could get someone up here that also watched what you did, Minnie, or even more, because I'm coming from it. Like, if people are coming in here who don't know what's going on, I'm just figuring it out with you. So that's where I am.
Oh, Lainey says, she had dinner with Pirate, which was the other girl on the panel who
Pirate Calypso. Yeah,
clearly
Pirate
thought all of us
Calypso.
were deaf because she was screaming. And Rainbow, wouldn't that be payment for the DMs? You know what? I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. Okay, Amanda, that's fine. Because I don't know how that was sent, why it was sent, what her agenda was. She can do whatever little childish bullshit she wants to do. Okay, outside of the fact of the realm of pretending to be a therapist. If she wants to be an asshole and show DMs, she'll get her comeuppance. I mean, it always happens. Karma will bite her in the ass. The thing that I'm upset about and that I'm annoyed about is the things that I witnessed with my own eyes and that I know for a fact are not only morally wrong, but federally wrong. I don't think
Yeah,
she
the HIPAA
understands
violations
federal crime.
and the fact that, this kind of language of, especially, the DID comment of, this is your second personality. What do you have? Are you disassociated or whatever right now? Those kinds of things is Minnie's focus on that. And I second that. I second and third that,
IB, I see you're back. Are you feeling better, darling? Sorry, I don't mean to keep cutting you off.
That's okay. I'm good. I just want the chat to understand, my my problem with this is the whole mental health angle, because mental health is so stigmatized anyway. And if someone is going through something, if they're in a dissociative state, if they have some kind of a challenge going on, knowing what I know about trauma and stuff, that's the worst thing you can do, is go to them and say stuff like that. Like, so if she, being a mental health professional, if she honestly thought that Randy was disassociating or something, that would be, I just don't, you wouldn't do that. I mean,
right. But here's the thing: is she didn't really think that anyway. If you weren't in, I don't know how much of it you caught, but the half that I caught, Mama Beth was doing nothing but mocking Randy, talking over her, calling her names, telling her to shut up. Can I talk? Will you let me finish? And then she would interrupt Randy. I mean, she didn't.
Well, that's almost worse, because then you're using, a disassociative illness as a weapon against someone, as if you're cutting them down with it or something. That's even worse.
Right. I mean, she was, like I said, putrid is the only definition I can come up for that behavior. It was shocking. And
That is shocking. It's shocking it's shocking hearing you talk about it. It's shocking.
Right. And here's the thing, guys. I am, I get on stream and if I'm upset, I cry, but that doesn't make me a weak person. I can usually stand up and I can usually say, fuck it, they want to fight, they'll let them fight. I'm good with that, whatever. But the second you start putting people's lives in your hands, I will not be okay with that. I'm not saying that I can change her or stop her, but I damn sure I'm going to talk about it. And I know that nobody's saying I shouldn't, but I'm just stating this for the record, you know. And you guys, most of you guys, I think I haven't read all the posts, but most of you are in agreement. It's a dangerous situation. I don't believe she realizes just how dangerous it is. I mean, because she could rip someone's life apart.
Well, yeah, and I'm just shocked I'm just shocked because if you have any kind of, okay, so people are saying in the chat that she's not a psychologist, that she's just a life coach. Okay, even life coaching, they know, not to use disorders as a cut down to people, and not to challenge the idea of getting help. I don't know. I'm very upset. I can't even think straight.
You're right, Ash. Ash says, and this is, I kept saying it in the chat, but there was lots of things going on in the chat, so I know it probably didn't get seen, but she was being incredibly rude and condescending and childish and just a petty bitch. I was shocked. Shouldn't have been, because I have seen the signs, shouldn't have ignored those. But it's not on you to, it's not anyone's fault but hers. We don't have to look at the signs. What we have to do is say, this is wrong. And until you prove me that I'm wrong, this is my thought, and I'm going to stand by it. I am going to stand by the fact that I believe, operative word, believe, that she is a bullshitter and that all she wants to do is start trouble. And, all she wants to do is be someone's BFF online. And currently it looks like that target is Katie. And I'm sure Katie's cool with it. I don't know. I don't know her mind. But I mean, it's just, it was Kit Kat. You're right. It was a hurtful agenda to hurt B and Randy. But beyond that, beyond that, there's something incredible. As much as I love B and Randy, and I love Katie, there's something incredibly more important than that, is that she is taking people's mental wellness in her hands, and it doesn't look like she's doing a very good job with it. And that's
Well, and then
infinitely more important.
putting it out there that she is a mental health professional, and that she, consults with people, and that she talks to them about issues and tries to help them with it. Certainly having that kind of an attitude and that kind of a rant on a live stream certainly doesn't promote the health and well-being in any way of anybody.
Right. And like I said, I love those guys, but they are grown-ups. They can fight their own battles by themselves. If they want to fight them on live streams, that's up to them as well. I'll watch
Oh,
because I
yes.
like it. But it comes down to the fact
Yeah.
of, I will never say that someone shouldn't argue. Okay, because people are going to argue. We can't stop that. I argue every day. But I will absolutely stand by the fact that what she did tonight was ethically, morally, and federally wrong. I don't care if you were just their friend. I don't care. You know what? I could get kicked out of the program if I told someone what my mother's medication was. That's still violating HIPAA. I can't tell a single solitary person what someone else is taking. Period. Even my own mother. If my mother was vindictive and she wanted to tattle on me, then she could. My mom's
Yeah.
not like that, but she could. And I
Yeah.
could get kicked out of the program. So, every medical professional is held to a standard for a reason. And the reason for that is you're either dealing with the actual mechanical function of the body, or you're dealing with the power center that keeps it going. And you're trying to keep all of that healthy for as long as you can until that person's body stops working. You don't get on live streams. You don't talk about people who you've talked to. You don't talk about people who you've advised. You don't call crazy people crazy. Okay, because that's such a fucking ridiculous umbrella term. It's so stupid. You don't, you know, mock people. You don't act like a 6-year-old when you want people to believe that you are an adult, that you are an accredited professional adult. That's just not what you
Mm.
do. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. And I get into this petty thing where I like to argue with people and everything, but when it comes to someone's life, when it comes to someone's health, their mental stability, their fucking, physical stability, you don't fucking tell anybody about that because number 1, there's a thing called HIPAA. And number 2, it's not your place. Oh my god, I'm totally gonna fangirl. Katie's in my chat. She's never been in my chat before. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I just think it was wrong. And like I said, what went on between them, personally, that's not my business. But the medical
Right.
issues is not
It's
my
more about the
business, but
concern. Yeah.
yeah,
It's more about concern. It's concern that,
for the
this
people
this
she's
would be
counseling.
happening. Yeah.
It was just really disturbing. Maybe it's because I'm in pharmacy school and I'm
No,
really getting
because
into
because lots and lots of people are disturbed, and we have a lot of people in chat who are not mental health professionals. We do have some mental health professionals in chat, but we have others that are not mental health professionals, and it looks like everyone was very, very upset and disturbed by it.
hmm And that's the point too. Like, I mean, there were just so many signs that if she is actually a medical professional, she doesn't care about her patients. Not with that attitude. Not with her pretty much verbally doxing someone that she spoke with. That's against the law. That's incredibly federally wrong. She can get her
Yeah.
DEA number taken
Well,
away.
beyond it, there's a reason beyond that. Yes. Okay. So we have the laws against it, but why do we have the laws against it? That's the important part.
Exactly.
We have these laws in place to protect patients from these kinds of things happening, to protect, public who go to mental health professionals from having, or any medical records, any medical anything. We have laws because of that. You know what I mean? We've already thought this is ethically wrong. This is morally reprehensible. We cannot have this happen. So therefore we're going to put a law in place so that it doesn't, because if it did, then there are repercussions. You know what I mean?
And not only that, if you know someone's medical record, if you know someone's confession to the priest, for fuck's sake, you can immediately have power over that person. You can manipulate everything that they have or don't have. And, once you know something so incredibly important about someone, it opens up a gateway for you to have all the power in their life. Yes, that sounds dramatic, but believe me, it happens. Look at all the memory care patients whose families, unfortunately, are the ones that are doing that because they are privy to that information. Look at
Right.
all the, look at all the power of attorneys, that take over for their what word am I looking for? Their dementia mom or their dementia dad or uncle or whatever, and they start taking the money, taking the house, putting the parent in a nursing home so that they can sell the house and have the money. I've seen it happen. And
Right,
that's the
right.
same
Well,
thing that
that's
could happen to anyone.
yeah, it's elder abuse,
Mhm.
and yeah, I mean, absolutely, it happens, and all the manipulation and everything that can go with it, where they're the ones that are, oh, I'm taking care of them, but behind closed doors, that's not what's going on at all.
Right. I mean,
Iridium.
hi, Iridium. And Rhodey says, if you go to the licensing board of West Virginia and put in her name, you will not find a license for her. She is not licensed. Thank you. There's just nothing in her behavior that tells me that she is licensed. There is no licensed mental health professional that would get online and act like, well, maybe there is, but they shouldn't, There's just, B. Nancy says, I'm a master prepared RN who worked in the mental health field for 25 years. From what I'm hearing, she did break HIPAA. She incredibly broke HIPAA, Nancy. Incredibly. I mean, to the max. And not only did she say that she counseled someone, but then she proceeded to say that that person did seek professional help. That is another HIPAA violation. I mean, this thing exists for a reason.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I was just saying. We've created these laws for protection so that people aren't faced with this situation. If they are, then that person gets in trouble. That person
Mhm.
broke the law.
Mhm.
It's
Um,
already been pre-thought out that this would be a violation and completely wrong. That's why we made a law against it.
exactly. Exactly. I mean, and I think everyone gets that. The terrifying part of it is that I don't think she gets it, and that's what's terrifying.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Because no, well, I'll tell you how I really feel, Katie. I hecka love you.
Yeah, so Katie said that Katie's having her own discussion in the chat about the messages that were shared, etc. So she's having that part of the conversation.
Oh, my bad.
That's not my bad thing. She should just be aware that we're talking about the HIPAA and
Oh, yeah.
Mama Beth, the way that she talked to Randy and the way that she was talking in stream and things she was saying. Apparently at some point she threw out retarded as an insult. She threw out DID, dissociative disorder, as an insult. Those kinds of things. And we're just concerned about the mental health aspect of that, because people who are mentally ill, that's not something you throw at someone as an insult. That's an illness. It's just wrong.
You're right, Katie. We don't. That's why I'm not talking about it, because I don't know what happened behind the scene. I am only talking about her, her
Behavior on the
her
stream.
behavior,
Yeah.
that's all. Her behavior, and her HIPAA violations and her ethic violations, because you know to everyone in the chat, both I'm striving in pharmacy school to be a medical professional. Sassy is doing the same thing, not in pharmacy school, but in mental health, and it's just something that we look for, and it is entirely terrifying when you see it happen, because then you start to realize there are people who do that. Your medical professionals shouldn't. I hope to God none of yours do, but there are some that do. There are incredibly ridiculous people who should never be in the medical field. And the fact that you can't find her license means she's not in the medical field.
Well, and in my focus, my focus is helping people heal from abuse, verbal, psychological, physical, all of the abuse, and that includes dissociative identity disorder. Blah, 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 I can't talk tonight. But it includes all those repercussions: CPTSD, PTSD, all of the stress illnesses, anxiety, depression, all of those things are all kind of touching the core of my research and where I am now in my field of study with abuse. And it sets things back light years if people really have that kind of impression of mental illness stigma. Like I said, being used as a weapon, like it's something that makes someone less than or something like that. No.
And just so all of you know, in case she comes back and says that, oh, well, it's expired. Yay, cats. It doesn't matter, because my certified pharmacy tech license expired and was nullified when I left Tennessee, but it's still on the website. It is very much still on the website. It just says that it's expired.
Yeah, you cannot. You can't say that you're a psychologist and not be a licensed psychologist. You can't say that you're a psychiatrist and you're not a psychiatrist.
Both
And from what I understand, there's several people in chat, because I heard her say on Katie's stream, I heard her say, I said I was a psychologist, not a psychiatrist. I'd like to correct that. That's what she said. But when I said that earlier on this stream, Minnie, there were a bunch of people in chat who said, no, we heard her say.
She has said both.
Yeah, that at times she has said that she's a psychiatrist, and at times she has said that she's a psychologist. And now looking, it seems like anyone who is looking has said that they've found life
Life coach.
life coach certifications, but no psychology back
And
credentials or anything.
and let's clear something up too. Being a life coach is no easy task either. So I mean, if she's that, I can't stand humans enough to be able to do that. I can't stand whining humans enough to be able to do that. But I mean, even if she is just a life coach, she still has to fall under, ethics.
Well, beyond that, if you are a life coach, and someone's been telling me that I should do that, and that I should do kind of life coaching on the side to do with abuse and things like that, because I've studied it, so intensively. And I'm batting that around because I'm in school, and it'll take a couple of years to get through all the way where I need to be to do the research that I'm doing and get all that done. But that's a way that I could help people in the meantime, with the things that I know. But all that aside, if a life coach, you want someone to be better. So still, any of that being said and any of that demeanor would still be detrimental to someone's mental well-being. So how would that, how would that be life coaching them? You know what I mean? How would that be having a job where you are trying to get people better and have people be better in their lives, and then throwing mental illness at them as a detraction or as an insult? Or I mean, I don't get it.
Hold on, Kimberly, who
Doesn't go
Embry?
together.
Is she trying to get in touch with Embry? Because Embry came into the chat after Mama Beth outed her, whether she meant to do it maliciously or not. HIPAA doesn't care. And she was extremely upset that.
Oh, this was a person that was in chat?
Yeah.
And so no one's been able to talk to that person yet? No one's been able to get a hold of that person?
That's what Kimberly said, yeah. She's trying to get in touch with Embry, Ash. And here's the thing too. She even decided she was going to justify her actions by saying, "Well, she's talking shit about me. HIPAA don't care about that shit either. Sorry, Mama Beth. HIPAA gonna take your ass down, whether you did it without malintent, whether you did it because you were reactive, whether you did it because someone was talking bad about you and you are petty and vindictive. HIPAA don't give a shit."
I just wonder about this Embry person. I don't know her. I'm assuming it's a her. Embry sounds like a her. But certainly, like, that person needs to be reached out to, because that was directly at them. That was this. They were a part of all this unknowingly. Like, probably didn't even want to be.
Yeah, I don't get that either, Kit Kat. I mean, here's my thing, and I said it before in my last stream. I don't care if you're my friend. If you're friends with someone I don't like, then we're just not all three going to hang out together. It doesn't mean I'm going to stop being your friend. It just means we're not going to go on a try date. And if I don't like, if I like someone and my friend doesn't, well, then just as I have to get the fuck over it, so do they. I don't care. But splitting friends up is so fucking childish. It's so high school. Grow up. It's terrifying that this childish woman is counseling people.
Okay, so Mr. Boot just wrote something. In Canada, a psychiatrist is a physician before specializing in psychiatry. Yes, that's the same as in the US. He can practice general medicine anytime. So no, she's not a psychiatrist if she can't do a prostate exam on Mr. Boot.
Well, there's also Mr. Boot. The very simple way to say it is a psychiatrist cannot prescribe medication. I mean, a psychologist cannot prescribe medication. A psychiatrist can.
Yes.
A psychiatrist can.
A psychiatrist is an MD, and a psychologist is not a medical doctor.
Right. Yeah, I agree. It is all crazy. I don't agree with the behavior. Like I said, I'm not going to get on here and talk about what happened behind the scenes with Katie and B and Randy and Mama Beth, because I wasn't a part of that. I don't know anything about it, and it's not my business. But I will, like I said, stand by the fact that she is violating so many ethic and HIPAA laws. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous and terrifying.
Okay, so Ash just said when Mama Beth said that Embry was talking shit about her on stream in chat, and she said she had a screenshot. Embry was there when she said that, all matter of factly. So apparently, Mama Beth was the one talking to Embry and having her own thing about some chat. And that was the woman. Embry is the woman that she said that she was, that first she said was a patient, but then she said she was friends with or whatever, right?
Okay, hold on. Shell says, Mindy Mayo, I'm not defending anyone at all, but I want you to know that HIPAA laws do not apply here because the two of them did not have a signed patient contract and signed HIPAA law form. Okay, I didn't know that. I do apologize for that. I'm sure that the HIPAA board would not be proud of what she's done, and but I did not know that part of it. So thank you for telling me. And I don't think you're trying to defend anyone. See, and that's how adults work. When you get proven wrong, you step the fuck back.
Wait.
So-
Evelyn just said, did you see Evelyn? She said, Ash, Mama Beth made it sound like she was justified
That's
for
what I said
putting
earlier.
Embry's info out there because
Right.
Embry was talking shit.
I mean, that's what I said earlier. That's what she said. She said, "Oh, well, she's on a channel on panel like talking shit."
Whoa, I missed that part.
See, Evelyn, I was under that impression too because I could call my doctor or a new doctor on the phone and tell him something without having signed a piece of paper, and he still can't tell anyone else. Well, Farah, Rhodey looked on the licensure board, and she is not there, whether inactive or active. The license is not there, period. And even if the license expired, it would stay up there for public record, for transparency.
Okay, so Mr. Boot just clarified, since I read his last comment, I have to clarify. He said, it's true, whenever you want to verify the credentials of a medical specialist, just ask them if they are licensed to do a prostate exam, because all physicians know how to do a prostate exam. Okay.
I think
Okay,
Mr. Boot
Boot.
just wants someone to touch his balls.
I know. Turn to the left and cough, turn to the right and cough.
Correct, domestic. It is ethically and morally wrong. Now, whether or not HIPAA, kind of is a part of that, I'm not sure. Shell says it's not. Evelyn says it is. I am just a lowly pharmacy student, so I'll have to look that up and educate myself. I do thank both of you for the input, and I thank you as well, domestic. It was morally and ethically wrong, regardless of if she broke any laws.
Well, and I really don't want anyone who is listening, I keep saying this, I know the chat's probably going to get pissed off at me because I keep saying this, but I don't want anyone out there who is seeking therapy or thinking of seeking therapy or is struggling with any kind of a mental health issue, anxiety, depression, any of it. Do not, because of this kind of thing, think that you shouldn't go do that. You absolutely, there's wonderful health professionals out there to help you. So please do not see this as all mental health professionals or that she represents mental health professionals or anything like that.
Mr. Boot, we don't have that in the United States. What we do have is we have some medications behind the counter that the pharmacist has complete control over whether or not he'll sell them. But like with the asthma tablets, or in some cases Plan B, it is up to the pharmacist whether or not they will sell it to the customer. And no matter if you're retail or if you're working strictly in a standalone pharmacy, no manager in that store can tell him to sell what he doesn't want to sell. That's where it goes with us. He can call a doctor and alter prescriptions, but if it needs a DEA number, the doctor has to resend it. DEA numbers are needed for narcotics. Let's see. Blue Ridge says HIPAA takes ethics and morals into account, regardless of contractual exchange. And Evelyn says, if I claim to provide someone counsel or therapy, that is understanding is if my relationship with that, and that is the understanding is if my relationship with that individual, I am the professional, obeying laws and regulations is my duty. Rhodey says, I do know that if Beth had announced the winners' names who won her free therapy prize, she would have been non-compliant with HIPAA. Well, Rhodey, here's the thing. If she doesn't have a license, HIPAA doesn't count. If she doesn't have a license, she's a liar, number 1. She's a fraud, number 2, which is also incredibly illegal. And if people are paying for their services, they are getting false representation. I don't know. All I know is her behavior tonight was abhorrent, and it was just disgusting.
Yeah.
Absolutely
And
disgusting.
and now no one has been able to get a hold of Embry, and I really hope that person is okay.
Mhm. Yep. Federal law is that you must have a signed HIPAA form for all medical records that state you understand the laws. Well, the laws are not for the patient to understand, though. The laws are for the doctor to understand. Um, I guess the patient needs to understand that they have those rights. But then there becomes a loophole of if the patient doesn't sign that form, doesn't know they have those rights, then the doctor can get away with it through that loophole.
Well, there have been several people in here who watched and they're mental health professionals, and they said she did violate HIPAA. There have
Okay.
been
I
several
mean,
people
like I
in here
said, I'm
who
gonna
said
educate
that she
myself.
did.
I don't mind taking a moment,
She
you
did,
know.
regardless. So
Right.
I don't know.
And if she's not, there's 2 ends of the spectrum here. Either she is, which obviously we can't find her license. Even if she is, all right, it's some kind of violation. Either HIPAA, like I said, I'm gonna educate myself, or ethical. And on the other side of the spectrum, if she is not, then she is committing fraud by saying that she is and giving false counsel. Now, she might be very good at counseling. I don't believe she is, but she could be. And in that case, it still doesn't matter because she's still saying that she's a medical professional with no proof of licensure. And Farah, yes, we have asked her, but she refuses to on the grounds that she is not doxing herself, even though that is public record. And I believe the reason why she is not going to dox herself is because she doesn't have anything to show. And as I said in the beginning of the stream, I could be incredibly wrong. And if I'm proven wrong, I will tell her I'm sorry and I will never speak about it again. But her behavior was non compliant with any medical professional office, HIPAA violation or not. And if she is not held accountable to HIPAA by not being a medical professional, then she is committing fraud. Michelle, I was just talking about my mom. My mom does medical records, and I was talking about how she can't talk about anyone either. Um, uh, well, she has medical coding. I'm assuming that's the same thing. Uh, but yeah, ooh, no, she cannot talk about anything. She can't even talk about, I had a phone call with this patient and that's what happened. Nope. Okay, but you know what? On the state licensure board, it also has her number on there. If you go and look at mine, and I will gladly show an example, I don't give a shit. Mine's expired and it stays on the website and it shows when it was issued, when it expires. It shows my license number. It shows my birth date. I mean, it shows everything. Yep. What is that called? Angel of Death?
Angela.
Oh. Like when someone starts a fire, if they're a fireman, just so they can go and put it out. What's that called?
Oh,
That's Angel of Death, right? Or Angel of Mercy? Can't remember.
I think it's Angel of Mercy
Maybe.
because they're the ones that save him. They're
Right,
the
right,
ones
right.
that get to come in and rescue.
Mhm. I understand, but that's her excuse. I mean, she was full of excuses. She was full of backpedaling. And like I said, when Katie asked her whether or not she was all chummy with Telfer, whatever, she said her tone of voice changed immediately. She went on the defensive and her tone of voice changed, the octave of her voice changed. She stopped being condescending. She immediately thought about protecting herself. Now, in that moment, I heard truth. I heard incredible truth. But if you compare that to her tone of voice, her octave, her calmness in the beginning before that question was asked, 2 totally different tones, 2 totally different things. That is telling. That's very telling. Uh, because
Okay.
you
I'm sorry. Go ahead go ahead.
I was just going to say, because I mean, it was like two different people talking right there. And no, I'm not saying she has an issue. I'm just saying by the tone of voice, it sounded like two totally different people.
Okay, Kimberly just said that she got word that Embry is okay. Not happy, but okay. Well, that's good.
Good.
That's good. That's very good.
I hope Janie's talking to her.
So happy to hear that.
Wait, she paused and took a second to think how yeah, I mean, listen, I can say that she's a liar. I can say that, someone's telling the truth, but in the end, I'm not in their heads. And it's between them and whatever God they pray to or whatever, pile of money they worship. Um, I don't know for sure, but in my opinion, I believe she's full of shit. I believe she is an atrocious fraud. And I could be wrong. If I'm proven wrong, I will absolutely apologize.
Right. Well, and Evelyn Shelton just said, can you imagine what life would be if we could avoid HIPAA by just not having patients sign that they received a notice? And that's what some people would do. I mean, we do know that there are people out there that mean harm to others and try and do things in shady ways, etc. And certainly that's why I believe that the laws, it has nothing to do with signing anything.
Well, Shell did say that
you're
she doesn't
bound
know
by
the
the law,
entire.
I think,
Right.
regardless of whether there's something signed or not.
Well, like Shell said, I understand that, Evelyn, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm stating that the law states you must have a signed contract, and HIPAA, no therapist can take on a patient without a contract. And therein lies the problem, Shell. No therapist can take on a patient without, number one, medical records. They have to have medical records. Have to. Because the way they treat this person has to coincide and mesh well with anything they are currently doing or taking with any other medical professional. And that is why the medical records went electronic, so any doctor can access any medical record from the time they started using them. And that way, you can stop patients getting double doses of medicines, you can stop doctor hopping, you can stop, whatever. It's not only about stopping bad patients, but also stopping bad doctors who don't pay attention or ask the right questions. So the problem with this is whether she has a contract, whether she's under HIPAA violation, ethical violation, moral violation, or whether or not she's committing fraud, she was wrong. Completely wrong.
Well, I wish that the stream wasn't taken down just because all of this talking about it, I wish I had seen it for myself. I really wish I had seen it for myself. However, yeah, Dr. Koala. But however, I know just from hearing about it initially, I was very disturbed. And I'm trying to caution myself that I may not even want to watch because I may find it very just upsetting in general.
No, I don't think you want to watch because just hearing about it made you have to go mute yourself. So I'm not sure you want to watch. Yeah. And whether or not, okay, let's take the medical issue out of it. Embry, judging by the fact that Embry is so upset, okay, we understand now that Embry went to her under the thought that her information and questions and issues would be private. Now, no, Mama Beth did not talk about what they talked about, but the simple fact that she sought out Mama Beth to get counseled is embarrassing enough for her to be incredibly upset about it, and I don't blame her. She went to Mama Beth with the understanding that their conversation would be private, and it wasn't. Now, the conversation was private still. I don't think that she talked about what they talked about, but the fact that there was a conversation and Mama Beth did say that there was a conversation is wrong, and it upset Embry, and it's not fair.
Ooh, Ash just said that Les sees her for therapy, and that just worries her. I can understand that it would worry you now. I do.
But listen, also I've spoke about in the other stream is we as adults have to take our own choices and we have to live with those. Okay. Now, you should educate yourself on any doctor, any professional that you see, period. You need to ask them questions. Ask them where they went to college. Ask them what they studied.
That's a really good point, because often people don't understand that you need to interview your psychologist the same way you would go to a lawyer and interview a lawyer. You interview your professionals. You want to find someone who you're comfortable with, because not every psychologist is a match for every patient. There are some psychologists who approach things a certain way and their patients love it, and there are other patients that doesn't work for them, and they need to find someone else who approaches subject matter a little bit differently. It's, it's personal, just like your doctor. You want to go to a doctor that you feel really comfortable talking to.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We're not going to talk about Les Blueridge because I love Les to death, and I'm not going to talk about her. But I will say,
we're not talking
as
about her.
adults,
It's just the fact that I just mentioned it because the
Right.
comment was that the person was concerned that she sees her for therapy. And I said, I can see how that would be concerning.
Well, and here's the thing, like I was saying, as an adult, you should take your choices in your own hands. We have to make our decisions. It goes from choosing a doctor to choosing to be vegan to choosing to donate to a PayPal or GoFundMe. I mean, it's a choice you make. Now, whether if you make that uninformed, it's because you didn't try to inform yourself, or you thought you were informed and you were scammed. Unfortunately, these are things that we have to take unto ourselves and either learn from them or choose not to do it. So we need to start educating ourselves. Like I'm going to educate myself on HIPAA. We need to start educating ourselves on the choices that we make. Because when it comes to your mental health and your physical health, it's very important. Very. Not every doctor is right. Not every doctor is good. You need to be able to say, I know where this doctor, we don't have to, but I do. You better believe I do. I know where my doctor went to school. I know what degree he got. I know what he studied. I know where he took his clinicals. I know where his dream job is. And that most of that came out of just conversation. But I know all of these things because I refuse to let somebody maintenance my body without knowing if they're qualified.
Right.
Period.
Right. Exactly. So Evelyn just asked me a question. She said, Sassy, here's a question. What do you think about Mama Beth providing Les therapy while at the same time socializing with her on stream? Well, if she's a licensed psychologist and she's seeing her as a psychologist, I think that that's completely inappropriate. Now, people have said that she's a life coach. If indeed she's a life coach, there's lots of life coaches who interact with their patients the same way that the creators do with their chat, etc. I know several people who do life coaching on YouTube, and they have an open forum, kind of an open platform. And yes, they talk to some of these people privately, but they wouldn't be technically patients. They're life coaching them. But it's my understanding she represented herself as a psychologist and also as a psychiatrist, and then the socializing would be completely inappropriate in that respect.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, if you think
hang on, because Evelyn, I want to see what Evelyn says back to that comment, because if she can see my differentiation, like, if you're a life coach and you're out there life coaching people, it's not the same thing as saying I'm a psychologist and I'm seeing you as a psychologist. That's a totally different thing. Do you see what I'm saying? Mm. Like if I say I'm a life coach, Minnie, and you say, hey, you're my friend, but I'm also a life coach, right? So you say, hey, do some life coaching for me. It's not it's not that conflict of terms, because I'm not coming to you like a psychologist and saying and misrepresenting my credentials and seeing you privately as a psychologist. That is, you don't see friends and family as a psychologist. You don't. Those aren't your patients.
But listen,
I'm saying?
but like what Rhodey said and what I've been saying is that she's not representing herself as a life coach. She's representing herself as a psychiatrist.
Right. And so that's why I just wanted to make sure, because Evelyn asked me that question directly. So I wanted to make sure that I got, and she said, you're right on, Sassy. So I wanted to make sure that she got my differentiation in that. And she said she did represent herself as a psychologist. Some people are saying they even heard her say psychiatrist.
I've heard her say both.
Yeah, in that way, I think that that would be inappropriate. If she's a psychologist, seeing someone as a psychologist, then you don't socialize with that person. A
Mm-mm.
life coach is kind of a general kind of thing. It doesn't, it's
Right.
not really like, let me get into the nitty gritty. It's kind of letting people tell you what they want to tell you and not really asking a whole lot of, deep, dark, secret questions, because that's not what you're there for. If they want that kind of help, they need to go to someplace else.
And Ash, I want to address what Ash said. It's illegal. It's a criminal offense. She said tonight that she was licensed and she is not, then she is dead wrong. You are correct. If she is not licensed and no one can find her license and she refused to show her license, we have to assume she does not have one. And in that moment, she becomes a fraud. And I'm not talking about, oh, you're so fake, you're a fraud. I'm talking a legal fraud, a criminal offense.
Yes.
She can be, not that I'm calling anyone, but she can be prosecuted. There have
Yes.
been many cases. In fact, my little Australian buddies, there was a quote unquote life coach in Australia that got hung out to dry because she was full of shit and she had to go to court for it and jail. Um, because she told people that she only ate certain foods and it cured her cancer. And she made a book about it, but she never had cancer. And guess what? She didn't have any credentials either. And that bitch got prosecuted. Blue Ridge, I found the interview where that reporter tore her a new one. It was hilarious. But yeah, so here's the point. Educate yourself on your medical professionals.
Yes.
If you see someone in violation, please ask them to stop or write it down and record when you've heard it and what time you've heard, or what time you've heard it, what you heard, and get it to the right authorities. Because guess what? This isn't just about doxing people. Okay, this is serious business. This is about taking someone's mental health in your hands when you are not qualified. And that can do incredible damage. Now,
Right,
she might,
right.
like I said, she might be very good at it. Maybe she self-studied. Doesn't matter. She cannot do that. And also, I
Well,
will repeat, if she proves herself, I will apologize and I will never speak of it again.
yeah. So like Ash just said, if a person represents themselves as a lawyer, doctor, fireman, etc., it's a criminal offense to do so. Same thing. You can't
Yep.
present yourself as a psychologist and not be one. You can't present yourself as a psychiatrist and not be one. You can't present yourself as a plastic surgeon and not be one. You can't present yourself as anything that way. If you are, because it's been said, Ash, that she went through life courses, and if she is indeed a life coach, then that's what she should be saying. If she is indeed a psychotherapist and not a psychologist, then that's what she needs to be saying she is. That's a little bit confusing to a lot of people who've heard her say, I'm a psychologist, and there are a few people who've heard her say, I'm a psychiatrist. I have only heard psychologist myself.
Right. And the thing, I want to give her a little bit of praise here, okay? If she did that life coaching course, which I mean, it's on her LinkedIn, I suppose that's vetted or whatever. Good for her. I couldn't do it. I don't like people. I don't want to hear them whine. I don't want to hear what's wrong with their life. I mean, I'm sorry, Sass. I love you and I commend you for going through what you're going through, but I don't give a shit. I mean, I would quit that job so fucking fast it wouldn't even be funny.
See, now
But
I'm the opposite.
but what I'm
I'm
saying
like,
is it's
love and
commendable.
happy bunnies for everyone.
Being a life coach is commendable and it's not an easy task. It's
Right,
not some
right.
hippie bullshit. It's not an easy task. You have to be able to, on the fly, counsel people on what they should do with their life. And there's nothing wrong with that. Why would you lie about that? There's absolutely nothing wrong about that. I just don't, I mean,
Yeah.
I just don't understand why she can't just say that and that she can prove. Funny enough, why is she willing to prove that through her LinkedIn, but not the fact that she's a psychiatrist or a psychologist or whatever the fuck she's calling it today? I mean,
Yeah. Well, that's why we have laws that you can't do that.
right.
Because you can't misrepresent yourself, just like you can't impersonate a police officer, can't impersonate a fireman. You can't impersonate people like that because there's certain training that those people have had that when you hear that word, you rely on it.
And for good reason. Because
Yeah.
the body, and you all have gone through, elementary school, high school, whatever, about the body, but I'm going to reiterate it again. The body is so fucking complicated that you throw one fucking loose screw in there and the whole system blows. And I'm talking, you throw one bad doctor, one bad choice, one bad bottle of alcohol. Shit, one guy, his dad cooked out on a grill and there was like these metal bristles on the grill brush and it got caught on the grill, got stuck in the steak. The boy ate the steak and the shit perforated his colon. Okay, so the thing of it is the body is delicate. The mind is even more delicate and yet incredibly more strong. It's an enigma, but it's an enigma that takes time to learn. And not any psychiatrist, not any psychologist will ever tell you that they know everything about the brain. My case of misophonia, case in point, they don't know why it happens. Okay, but to sit up here and say that you are a licensed medical professional and you are not willing to show your license, you are not willing to prove yourself, but you are willing to put people's mental state in danger, then you are a fraud and you are, excuse my language, a piece of fucking shit.
Oh, no. Did you just see Kimberly just said Pirate was live streaming and Beth and Obi were on panel and Janie says they were speaking of Embry.
Man, I'm not going over there. No way. No way.
No, but to even make more of it, then can they, like that, whoever this Embry person is, it
You
sounds
shut up,
like
Boot.
that person's just taking, that person just sounds like she's taken for a ride, like this has just gone out of control and she's just part of it. Okay, Donna just said, my God, I just woke up and now there's another fire. I decided to go to Janie and Nippy's and they are worried sick about someone that is their mod. Is Embry their mod?
Yeah. Somebody see if Janie's still in contact with Embry and make sure that she's got someone in her ear or by her side, please.
Well, that she's okay and that she's not,
Basically, yeah.
because if they're streaming about her. Oh, she's not live streaming anymore.
But which one,
So,
Janie or Mama Beth?
I think Pirate.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. I'm glad. I mean, I didn't think I was, but I am glad I'm not the only one that was immediately alarm bells at her behavior and the things she was saying.
I think everyone in the chat was like that.
I know.
Everyone
I didn't
in the
realize
chat
that.
was extremely upset and just going, what the hell? And Evelyn said that she was typing in the chat. She kept typing to her in chat. I don't remember what she said exactly, but something that she was trying to get a hold of her in chat, and she just wouldn't stop.
Just heard from Janie that they have had contact with Embry. Haven't spoken to her, but they are keeping an eye out for her. Thank you, Donna. My love. I love Donna. She's so sweet.
She is.
Of course, she hasn't delivered me the TARDIS, which I am still waiting on. Miss Donna.
What's a TARDIS?
It's from Doctor Who.
Oh, everyone keeps telling me I should watch that show.
Oh, hell yeah. You should either bring me the TARDIS or John Barrowman. I'll take either one, honestly. Or Bern Gorman. I'll take Bern Gorman too. Yeah, Doctor Who is the longest running science fiction show in the world.
Yeah, I know there's lots of people who bring it up to me and they really like it.
So, guys, do you have any does anyone want a link or does anyone have anything they want to say? Because it's open panel. Most of my panels are open when it's not a set topic. So, if you want a link, just let me know.
And if not, we can shift gears and go to a different topic and ride it. So you just saw what I saw?
This is ridiculous. I feel so bad for that girl. I do. I just feel so bad for her. I mean, what if you went to your doctor, okay? Or you're a psychiatrist and you're having suicidal thoughts but you definitely, in no uncertain terms, want anyone to know because your daddy has a heart condition and that would kill him. And then all of a sudden, your psychiatrist doesn't say why you're there, but that you are there. It stresses your dad out, he has a heart attack, and he dies. It happens. It may sound dramatic, but it happens. These are the consequences.
Okay, Donna, Donna, Minnie's gonna put it in a nutshell because she can nutshell stuff really good. Minnie, Donna wants to know in a nutshell what happened.
Okay, here we go. Too long didn't read version. Basically, Mama Beth went into Katie's chat to defend herself for sending Katie a screenshot. In the meantime, she started talking about other people's problems and still pertaining to her being a quote unquote psychologist or psychiatrist, whichever sentence she's on. It changes throughout the entire thing. And then she decides to say that there is a person she was talking to, therapy wise, called out her name. That person got upset. What am I missing, Sass? Oh, yeah. Beth also started talking, claiming that Randy had DID or dissociative disorder. And
Well, she said it was the way that she said it. Let's be fair, because that's what's really truly traumatizing. Is she said, "Is that this is your other personality or something? This is your other personality talking or something? And do you have dissociative identity disorder?" Like it was like a cut down, like
chaos.
that.
Chaos is the new too long didn't read. Donna, some bitch said something about some other bitch. I love you, Chaos. I love you so much. Yeah, she also referred to those that she works with as crazy. She also still refuses to show her credentials. And then later on, Rhodey went into the licensure board for West Virginia and could not find her license, whether it is expired or still active. It would still be on there regardless. And there is none, zero, no license, nothing. She's not a psychiatrist. Period. Unless by some miracle and Jesus and his sandals come down here and make her tell the truth, and she shows her credentials and I'm proven wrong, I will issue a public fucking apology. I don't think I am, but if I am not above apologizing.
Right.
Yes, my Brooke, I will check my DMs. I will do this for you.
Please, please.
Oh, they want me to watch this stream. I'm going to mute real quick while I watch this. Will you entertain the masses?
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so guys, it's just me now. And if you want to continue on with the same topic, I'll just kind of read out what's going on in the chat since it's just me. Who are you asking to come on to? Oh, hell, get her on here. Blue Ridge, who are you saying? And I missed your stream the other morning too. I'm sorry. I got on the phone with a friend and we ended up talking for like, I don't know, 4 hours. This is me trying to entertain y'all. So I'm just looking in the chat, wondering what
I'll
you
be right
guys.
back.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Quit laughing at me. Stop laughing at me. Okay, good, Blue Ridge. I'm glad you forgive me for that. You Aussies, got to keep it all good with the Aussies. Jenna, are you still here? If they can justify what Mom and Beth did, then that makes what Pam did okay too. Well, that's true, but we all know what Pam did wasn't okay. So, why was Mama Beth in trouble for sending Katie a screenshot? Okay, because she sent her a screenshot. Iridium, from what I understand, and I missed this part of the stream, so watch the chat carefully if I start getting corrected, because I know all you guys will be on it. From what I understand, there was a screenshot of B talking to someone about Katie. And that's the screenshot that Mama Beth got a hold of and gave to Katie. Hi, Sonia. Is that right, you guys? Anybody watching? That's correct, right? That Mama Beth shared a screenshot with Katie, and in that screenshot was something about B talking about Katie. I missed all of that, so that's as much as I... Okay, I thought Pam said the other night that they were going to drop DMs to Katie to show how her friends called her were not so nice. Maybe they did. I don't know. I don't listen to Pam because I really don't like Pam. So I don't follow a lot of what goes on with her. I know she sticks her little tentacles out and harms people occasionally. And then by harm, I don't mean physically. I just mean that she throws a wrench into somebody's life. Okay, Blue Ridge. So she basically sent a screenshot of B shit talking Katie to Katie under the guise of being a good friend. Yes, Katie didn't say whether or not she is friends with Mama Beth. Yeah. Yeah, so that catches everyone up. Sent a screenshot to Katie to show her friends weren't true friends, just to prove herself as a better friend. Well, apparently so. I wasn't paying attention to my boyfriend, thought he heard my name being mentioned. We might be a little incapacitated. I did mention your name. I was trying to call you. I was like, hey, you could take a leak and come up here. You could come up here and talk to me while I'm by myself. But, oh, you're incapacitated. That's funny. That's okay that you're incapacitated. Iridium sounds a little immature for a mental health professional. Well, that happened, Iridium, but then also later on in the stream, Mama Beth was talking about people and she mentioned someone who was in the chat, and apparently she had said that she'd given this person therapy. And so she was basically talking about a patient, which then that was just really upsetting. And then she turned around and said a bunch of things to Randy, and is she disassociative, and said it more like it was an insult, which, mental health illnesses happen, but they happen because they're not anything that's like an insult or make someone less than. Okay, Ash said, this came out like a week ago. It was something that B said while they were in an argument. B was venting and talking shit, like I'm sure we've all done. Oh, this is that same thing with her talking to Sam Telfer? Is this the same thing, Ash, that came out like almost 2 weeks ago now, about B talking to Sam Telfer behind Katie's back or something? Or is it different? Blue Ridge says, thinking I should send Mama Beth screenshots of myself talking about my feelings about her so she knows I'm not her friend. Maybe she will like me more. Ooh, ouch. Ash says, oh, okay. No, B told Katie what it said, I think before it even actually came out. Then the screenshot showed up. Oh, well then why the stream? I mean, if she already knew what was said. Oh, Kimberly, is there like streams going all over the place that everyone's talking about the same thing? Ash says this was when they were not speaking because she said she had talked to Sam. Yeah, okay.
I watched that video. Bitch is dumb as shit.
Huh? Are you back?
Yeah. Annoyed as fucking back, yeah.
Okay, well, apparently there's streams all over the place going on, and Kimberly is having a hard time. She doesn't want to, but she can't contain herself. She's jumping in between stream to stream. Hi, Princess.
Princess, you wanna link? I know you had things to say. I love when Princess has things to say.
Come and say your things.
Tell us all the things, princess. We need your things. All right. I have to say something.
Does Princess know what's going on? Or is she just getting here?
Oh, no.
Because she just said,
Yay,
hey
she wants
there.
a link. Yay. Hold on, let me get you one. Oh, princess, do I have you on Twitter? I think I do. Hold on one second. Y'all, I'm eating these sweet tart jelly beans, and they're like the best thing I've ever eaten my whole life.
See, I don't like sour. So that
What
whole
is sour?
tart thing, I would be like, is it tart? Like that. Does it have a bite?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was cringy as fuck. Princess, do you? What is your Twitter, please, so I can give you a link?
She doesn't
Kimber,
have Twitter.
how the heck am I supposed to give you this link, girl?
Email it.
Can I have your email, princess?
Are you okay putting that in the chat, Princess? How does anyone get you on panel?
Very carefully.
Right.
Oh, Kimberly. My favorite thing was her saying, everybody's doing like psychiatry streams, even though I went to school and went through other training for it. So now I guess everyone's a therapist. But like in my streams, we talk about like coping mechanisms and like medication, which I'm totally qualified to speak on. What a dumb bitch.
Who said that?
Mama Beth in a stream a while back. She was bitching about Diane because Diane has these streams, right? That are about, it's not from a medical perspective. It's from a personal perspective. And
Right,
she's like,
right.
oh, she's stepping on toes. Why does she have to stream all the time? And blah, blah, blah. Which people would get off Diane's dick.
Uh,
Okay,
Ash
princess.
says she's 14 minutes into the pirate stream from tonight. It's only an hour long, and Beth isn't there yet. So Ash, as well as following this stream, is on the side. She's watching the pirate stream to see what went down on that.
That's because Ash is my bitch. I'm just kidding. I love you, Ash. Don't beat me up. Mama Beth's also mad about Diane having the streams on eating disorders. You know what? She can get over it. She can get over it. She can get the fuck over it. Because you know what? She ain't even got a fucking license. I love her too, Farrah. So I say people need to get off her dick.
Well, even people with licenses, etc. People have little streams on YouTube about all kinds of things. This is where people can commiserate and talk, possibly find stories that help them and other people's stories, things that have worked for them that haven't. I mean, that's what community does, right? So, no one's like, as long as you're not misrepresenting yourself as something you're not, you can talk about whatever you want. Right?
Exactly.
Oh, she just showed up. And she said it's a replay. She just showed up. It's a replay.
Okay. Sorry, I don't mean for y'all to hear me eating this candy. I'm a bad person.
Yeah. Misophonia, Minnie.
No, I don't think I forget how strong my microphone is.
No, I can't hear it at all.
Okay, good. Mariah, I'm just sad that there was anything there to see, because now I'm just worried about all the people that she's counseled.
I just don't want it because in general, you just don't misrepresent. If you're a life coach, be a life coach. And if you're a psychologist, be a psychologist. And if you are a psychologist, in general, I'm not talking directly to Mama Beth. I'm talking in general. That if you're whatever profession you are in the mental health community, don't use disorders as like a weapon against people. Don't cut them down with mental illness, and promote mental well-being, because we need more of that. We need less stigma and more embracing the fact that people do have mental health issues.
And listen, what she needs to understand is that everybody brings a new perspective to every idea, theory, and discussion. So just because she does it doesn't mean that someone else can't have a varying opinion. I just spoke a double negative, so I will be, punching myself in the balls pretty soon. I'm gonna have to grab myself. Now I have to fix it. It doesn't mean other people are restrained. There we go, restrained from speaking on the same subject from a different point of view. I mean, she just needs to get over herself.
Okay, and Blue Ridge just made a comment. She said if she was qualified, she would understand that what Diane offers is a qualitative insight into personal experience.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's more of, I've been there. Share your story. I see myself in your shoes. Can you see yourself in my shoes? We're a community. No one is an island,
Princess, I sent it. Yeah. She is very insular. She's very, I just saw
Yeah,
it.
but Ash,
Very narcissistic.
Ash, hold on one second. I'm sorry. Hold on. Ash just said the bitch took the stream down. If you're playing it and the stream comes down, it still plays though. So if you're playing it, you can,
Let her take the stream down, because you know what that proves? She's a fucking coward.
Princess.
Hi, Princess. Hello.
Hi, y'all.
Ah. So what do you think about this ass hattery?
Oh, Lord. Which part?
All of,
Which one? All of them?
all of the hatted asses.
Well, I can tell you this. I have spent a fortune in my life on therapy. And I can tell you right now that there's no way. Hi, Donna. There is no way in hell, damn it, Jenna, that I just can't imagine any therapist going on to YouTube in the drama community,
right,
and presenting themselves as a therapist and going on to live streams such as Katie's. I mean, it's fine if she's a therapist, she wants to go on there, but to constantly be talking about the fact that she's a therapist and then saying the things that she says and doing the things that she does. She goes on Les's chats and talks sexually all the time.
And tonight she broke confidentiality by calling out someone she counsels.
Well, that is what really upset me, because
too.
I don't care if she's paying you or if she came into your office or she did it on a live stream.
Mm-hmm.
Matter. I think what Janie was trying to say, and I was trying to say it in the chat, that if you're a therapist, those ethics and your morals are across the board in your whole life. You don't just turn them on when you have a paying client in your office. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. Good point.
I mean, if I ran into my therapist in Katie's chat or in Les's chat or anybody's chat on YouTube in the community that we're in and heard her talking the way that we all talk around here, and she was telling everyone that she was a therapist, I would not ever go back and see her again, and I would find a new therapist.
And I would also find a way to let the entire community know wherever she, quote unquote, practices exactly what she does. It's dangerous.
It is
damaging, and it's criminally wrong.
And I don't think that, look, I don't have any personal experience with Mama Beth. Frankly, probably the only video of hers I've ever watched was the one that she did about TT.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm subbed to her channel, but I don't really watch her.
I was until tonight.
Well, I just, for her to say, and Embry has got to be upset, I'm sure, for her to say that Embry came to her and asked her for advice and she told her to go seek a therapist is totally out of line. No therapist should be saying that they referred, even if my therapist talked to someone and she's not on YouTube, she was recommending somebody at the grocery store was talking to her. She's not going to go run around and tell everybody, I saw, Susie Q at the Piggly Wiggly, and I told Susie Q that she needs to go get some therapy. I mean,
guess what, Princess? I saw Jane down at the store, and I told you that bitch was crazy because she told me. It's just wrong. And not only that, is that she didn't start off by saying that she just told her to, go to therapist, she started off before she started backpedaling to that point by saying
Exactly.
that they started talking and she wouldn't stop texting her. Okay, you cannot even talk about habits of the patients you see.
No, you can't.
Because
And
just saying that makes Embry look, desperate and insane, and that's wrong.
it is. And then to turn around and say that she had counseled her, and she said, I suggest you go see a therapist. And then she turned around and said, well, I saw her talking shit about me in a stream.
Right.
Like, I can't wrap my brain around any of it.
It's like, I'm sorry, I didn't know they gave psychiatrists license to 5-year-olds.
I mean, oh my God. It's so hard when you're sitting in a chat because you're trying to type, especially in Katie's chat that was so on fire like it was tonight, and the chat's flying by, and I mean, I was screaming at the computer, like, this is just so wrong.
Well, okay. Princess, you brought up a really good point. So let's say I go to a doctor, okay?
Right.
And I, for whatever reason, have a disparaging impression of said doctor. And later on, I'm in the grocery store and I happen to be talking about how horrible this doctor is. And the doctor comes in the grocery store. Do you think the doctor is going to come to me and say, I'm actually a really good doctor and you're a horrible patient?
Right, exactly.
The doctor is going to look at the patient doing that and just go about their business and that's their opinion and move along, because they're just not going to do that, right?
Right. And here's the thing. I'm 46 years old and, still trying to figure shit out, right? And so there's innate ability. And I think there are a lot of women, and my daughter, who's the biggest feminist in the world, would shoot me if she heard me saying this right now. But I think a lot of women, it is in your nature when for example, your husband comes and says, oh my gosh, your hair looks really good today. And what is our normal reaction? It's like,
thank you.
But also, there's a lot of us that are, thank you. But are you saying that normally my hair doesn't look good? You know what I mean? I mean, like, you're.
Oh yeah, I know some women who are like that. Yes.
Okay, and so or somebody, something happens or whatever, and then your brain starts going into overdrive, thinking, what
are they being sarcastic? Did you really mean that? Does it not look good normally? When the brain is overthinking and it's in overthinking mode, you tend to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
And
okay,
so,
can I address something really quick?
Yeah.
Okay, Ivy, listen, here's two things, what we discussed before. If she is licensed, which no one can find that license, even though it is public knowledge and searchable for a reason, if she has a license, she is breaking ethical code by calling out a patient, by calling out her behaviors, and also telling others what advice she gave that patient. Number two, if she is not licensed and she does not have one, then she is committing fraud by working under the guise that she is one. And if you say you're a therapist, cool, but you would know that too. That is why we are upset, because she is not what she says she is. And yes, Farah, she said she was 47. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Carry on.
Okay, I forgot what we were even saying. What got me on that roll about
that you were just saying that if you go to a therapist and you don't like that therapist or the therapist.
Okay. So, so recently I was sitting in my therapist's office and, I'm going through and explaining my thoughts and opinions or feelings, not opinions, feelings on things. And she started laughing and she was like, oh my gosh. She was like, you have the most innate ability to take something that has something that somebody says and then automatically turn it into something else and think negative about yourself. And she said, it just baffles me to see you do that. And it's simply because of the life that I've lived, the environment that I've come from, the way I grew up, the family drama and nonsense that I've lived through for the last, 46, almost 47 years. And so now I'm finally at a point of trying to set up boundaries and to learn how to take what people say at face value, etc. But I don't know. I just think that.
Yeah, you're wrong, Ivy. It does count. Very much counts. It doesn't matter. HIPAA doesn't choose. HIPAA is very standard.
Exactly. And you know what? I think there are a lot of people out there who could be having conversations with people all over the place who have no idea that somebody is a therapist or a psychologist or a psychiatrist, when they're in the middle of having a conversation. I have a best friend who's a PA, and her husband is, the director of an emergency room, physician. He's a physician. And I can tell you that they don't run around announcing that they're doctors on the regular. I mean, I just don't understand who does that. And I don't understand how it can be okay to bring your therapy to a YouTube platform and then turn around and announce to everybody that you're giving therapy for free to people on YouTube. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand it.
Right.
Well, to your point, one of my friends who is a psychiatrist, he was my friend for a number of years, and I didn't know what he did. We never even really had that conversation. I think at times he'd ask me about like where I worked, but we'd never really spoken about what he did. And I, for whatever reason, I just didn't go there,
Right.
And years ago, when I started studying all this stuff on narcissistic abuse, just abuse in general, domestic violence, the effects of it on the brain, etc., I get into conversations with my friends where I share a lot of this information because I know that there's toxic behaviors out there, and there are people out there who are in full-blown abusive relationships.
Yes, and
so,
you've known from the first day that I ever heard you on a panel or speak, which was on Sweet Meadows' panel. And
yep.
Lord know her.
Guys, asking you questions. You said, I've never had a conversation with TT. I don't know her in person. I'm just telling you what I have observed and what my opinions are from my background, my knowledge, and my learning, right?
Right. And that I'm not making a judgment call or anything. I'm just saying what I see from her behavior that she has put out there, her own stuff.
And so, I fell in love with you that day. And then every chat that I you in from there on out, and I've told you, hey, you should start doing these kind of streams on your channel, because I think a lot of people are interested, but I didn't imagine you putting somebody on panel and giving them actual therapy online.
Oh no, that would be no. You don't do that.
No, and so
no.
Like, hey, you can do that, and then either let people ask questions in a chat, or maybe come on the channel and tell you stories and ask you your opinion on people's behaviors. Your opinion, not therapy. Your opinion.
Which I'm going to be doing, by the way, so everyone listening can look forward to that, because I will be having open chats, and I'll come on and then I'll just say whatever the topic goes to, but it'll be toxic behavior related. Okay. It'll be abuse, toxic behavior related, but also healing, how you heal your brain from toxic behavior and abuse and things like that. But
and I'm fascinated by that, and you're going to get annoyed as hell with me because I will be in your asking you questions.
Never annoyed. It's my life's passion to help people understand that, the brain can heal, and that abuse does hurt really seriously in the brain. It doesn't matter what kind it is. But when I used to run this material, the things that I was putting together and the things I was discovering, and there was this guy that I would run into on occasion, and we'd have these long conversations, and he was just awesome. But he finally leaned over to me and he said, I'm a psychiatrist. And he put his finger up like, don't say anything, like, And because we are in a big social group that always seems to run into each other in social gatherings, and he doesn't want anyone else to know. But he wanted me to know, because he's the one who said, you need to go back. I'll tell you what you need to do. You need to write these books that you're doing, and you need to go back to school and get the degree so that when you write your books, the name, the published author has those credentials behind it, just because that will make the professional community recognize you, which you deserve to be recognized, you know?
Okay,
Right.
I need to say something really quick.
Sorry. Yeah.
So, Ivy, I have looked up the difference between consent and authorization in the privacy rule of HIPAA, and it states on the law website, the privacy rule permits but does not require a covered entity voluntarily to obtain patient consent for uses and disclosures of protected health information. It does not have to have anything signed, because if that was the case, then they could just get around signing forms and talk about whatever the fuck they wanted to talk about.
Yeah. And
No, I
then if you
remember-
don't have a signed form, no protection for the patient at all. Like, oh, you didn't get a form signed, and maybe the patient doesn't even know that there's a form.
And I will tell you this, that
Yeah.
I have had to, and this goes whether it's in a therapy sense or if you're in a doctor's office or a lawyer's office. So I will cover all three examples. First of all, I remember why I went on that crazy rant I did a minute ago, is that I have sat in my therapist's office and referred to myself as crazy. And that is not something that any therapist would go along with. That's not a word that you use. And I would be highly offended if my therapist, even in a joking way, referred to me as crazy. Okay? This is why people don't want to speak out about mental health issues. This is why people don't want to talk about being depressed or bipolar or, any of those things, because there is a stigma of you being referred to as crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
No different than having an issue with your thyroid and taking medicine for that, or having an issue with, depression or anxiety and taking medicine for that. So people don't want to talk about it, and they live in shame, and they don't come out and speak about it because they don't want to be labeled crazy. So I have a huge fucking issue with her using that word and then trying to defend that, I shouldn't have said that. No, you're right. You shouldn't have said it.
Hey guys, I got a message, and it's been requested that we try not to mention Embry's name in the chat, please, just to keep her kind of calm. That would be great.
Yes.
No one said
Yes.
anything bad. We just don't want to mention her name in the chat for the rest of the night, please.
I got it. Point taken.
Yes, Kimberly, yes, you're correct. And it's sad.
What are you cooking? And I want some.
Oh, sorry. I should mute.
No, I want some. What is it?
It's sausage.
Oh,
You know
maybe
what's
I
really
just
fucking
need to-
great? Huh?
Does it sound good?
I actually smelled sausage while I heard that sound.
That's awesome.
And also
Minnie,
creepy.
I just got done eating some octopus salad and it was really good.
Blech. Blech.
It's so yummy.
I
So-
do not eat the seafoods.
Woo, love it. Yeah, my niece was sitting next to me and she was grossing out. It's like, there's a tail on it. I'm like, come on, just take a bite. Oh, it's so good. Anyway, so when you go to a doctor's office, even if it's your husband or, whoever, you have to sign a consent saying it's okay for that doctor to even talk to your spouse about what you discuss with your, physician. Same thing with a therapist. If I want her to be able to have a conversation with anybody, my husband or anyone, about anything that we talk about, I have to give her written consent to do so. And at a lawyer's office, I mean, I am in Wisconsin helping my niece with a legal issue right now, and she gave him express written consent that he could talk to me about her case because I'm paying for it. But we had to draw up a document and have her sign it. And at any time, even though I'm the one footing the bill, she can go in there and say, no more, I don't want you discussing it with her, and retract that. So that was the other point that I was trying to get at. Is
Like
that,
when sorry, go ahead.
no, it's just not okay. It's
No,
just
it's not.
not okay. What she did tonight was not okay. And
Like when my niece was super sick and in the hospital, her crazy, I'm sorry, that's a horrible word, but I mean like crazy, not in the actual crazy way.
oh no, I get you.
So they were calling and harassing all the doctors. So my ex-sister-in-law said, if anyone calls, do not give them an update on my daughter. Do not tell them that she's here. Do not tell them what's wrong. Do not tell them if she's smiling or ate a popsicle. Do not tell anyone anything unless I
Mhm.
bring them to the nurse's desk myself.
Yeah.
And guess what? You're the patient. You have all the power. So that signing thing, the consent form, that is to protect you, not to protect the doctor.
Well, and here's another perfect example. So, my oldest sister, who's only 52, was starting to really act strange. Something was wrong with her. And so, you know, they don't have a lot of money, and her husband is, you know, self-employed. They don't have any insurance. And so finally, I just said, you know what, I'm coming to get her. And I took her to see a neurologist. And I just said, you know what, I'll pay for it, but something's wrong.
Mhm.
So anyway, we found out that she has severe early onset of dementia at 52.
Oh,
It's,
Lord.
it's awful. Yes. So she was at home with her husband, and you know, she was out of control, and she got to the point where she was wandering out of the house in the middle of the night, and they were having to run around and look for her, and she was waking up in the mornings, and she was extremely angry and agitated. So her husband took her up to the hospital. Well, it's protocol for them to ask, you know, questions without the husband or anyone present, because they have to make sure there's not, you know, an APS issue going on in the home. And then they had to, even though she had seen a neurologist and been diagnosed, if you have dementia, it's considered a psychiatric disorder. So they admitted her to the psych ward for evaluation and to get some testing and things done. And so I guess in the hospital where she was at, they didn't have enough beds. And so when they don't have enough beds, they transfer some of these patients to private facilities, which is paid for by that hospital. So she got transferred out. And so I didn't know any of this was going on at the time when she went to the hospital. They transferred her out to a private facility. And I mean, I literally spent almost a week calling and arguing with people and bawling and crying, saying, I need to know where my sister is. Her husband doesn't know, her kids don't know, I don't know. And they said, well, you know, if she's in one of these facilities, you know, they'll give her 24 hours and then they'll take her phone and they'll ask her who they have permission to contact. And I said, do you understand? She doesn't know what day it is. She doesn't know what year it is. She doesn't have her phone on you. And she certainly isn't going to be able to tell you who it's okay for you to contact. Mm-hmm. You can't just hold her and not tell anybody. But because it is an issue, a privacy issue, I mean, I had to jump through hoops.
They want to tell you.
They do.
They can't.
And I kept begging, and I was bawling on the phone, and I finally narrowed it down because I called Adult Protective Services, and I finally narrowed it down to which place she was actually at. But then I was calling them, and thank God, after a lot of persistence, got a hold of one of the caseworkers that worked there, and she went and verbally asked my sister, and I don't even know if my sister realized what she was agreeing to or not, but she said yes. So she called me, and because you couldn't go visit unless you had this patient number. And so finally she called me back and gave me the patient number. And she was like, I cannot talk to her husband or her children because I did not get permission from her to do so. I cannot stop you from sharing this patient ID number to anyone you want, but I can only have discussions with you because that's all the consent I have at the moment. But I mean, I was bawling. I'm like, do you understand that she's scared and frightened? She hasn't seen anybody in her family in days. Mm-hmm. And they're like, you know, I'm sorry, but we have rules we have to follow.
Exactly.
I mean,
it's not always easy. Not all doctors are shady. A lot of doctors want to not see you cry. They want to comfort you and give you the information that will do that, but they can't because it's against the law. They cannot. Now, some of them will, and that's kind of a double-edged sword. You know, it's still against the law. I'm still against it. Yeah. Period. That HIPAA is constantly moving forward, but it is never moving backwards.
Right.
And it is always adding new things doctors can't run their pompous mouths about.
I mean, you know, I was as manipulative as I possibly could be out of concern for my sister. But it took a lot of persistence and, kind of trying to, figure out a way to skirt around the rules to finally be able to get the patient ID number so that I could get up there and see her. So it's just, it's the law is the law. And every person I talked to felt really bad for what was going on. And they were like, oh, well, you should probably get a power of attorney in place. I'm like, well, that's a real fucking great idea. I don't have one. So can we talk about what I need to do to see her at this moment? We can talk about power of attorney when I figure out where she is and we get her out.
Right.
But now I just need to figure out what I need to do to see my sister. So I don't agree with anything that Mama Beth did on there tonight. And, somebody in the chat made the comment, about STS dropping all of this private stuff and how outraged we all were. So how is this any different?
It's not.
She got consent from Rainbow and she got consent from Katie. Did she get B's consent?
Nope. And she answered that as well. They asked her and she said no.
So, fine. You want to know my honest opinion? People are probably going to get mad at me. I'll tell you what my honest opinion is.
Go for it.
My honest opinion is that Katie has expressed that she's been frustrated with several times lately with B. But anybody who's been around for a long time knows that Katie and Yaba and B and Randy, argue, and they always get back together because they are real life friends off YouTube. People need to butt their noses out of their private friendship. And I think that Mama Beth saw an opportunity while B has been not on very much lately and Katie is a little annoyed with her to slip right in and take that spot.
I don't know why people would be mad at you. I think that's what we've all been saying all night.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I haven't made a judgment call, so I haven't been in on that one. But I have seen that the chat totally agrees with you, Princess.
Yeah, so.
And she says, oh, I was doing it for a friend. No, you weren't. You weren't doing it because you thought Katie was a friend. You were doing it because you thought, yeah, exactly, Ash. I was just about to use that same word. Because you thought that Katie would look at you as a hero.
Yes. Yes. Because if Mama Beth can say that she's not friends with B and she doesn't talk to her off of YouTube, and that's probably true. But if she was that concerned about it, she also knows that Katie has been very upset lately. Katie has expressed on more than one occasion that she doesn't know who to trust and that she's really conflicted and she's very upset. So why would she do anything to fuel Katie's already paranoia and frustration about not being able to trust anyone lately? Why would you go in there and make that worse?
Because that's
okay, so asking that question of why would you make that worse as a layman, just as a viewer, just as a person is one thing, because that's why would you, right? But if you're a mental health professional, then that's not what you do.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. If she's a mental health professional, why would she add fuel to that?
Oh, I thought you were just saying, why would you add fuel to the fire? Just like you and me, just like, because there is that too. Like if I see that you're upset and you're my friend, Princess, and I see that you're upset and that you feel like you can't trust people, I wouldn't fan the flames of that. You know what I'm saying? I would be like, wow, that's something to wrestle with. And I'm not gonna give you whatever you find on your own that's strengthening that opinion. That's one thing, but I'm not going to go out of my way to make sure that you have something that nails that opinion down. But then the second level is the mental health professional part, in my view, because just as a person, you wouldn't want to do that, right?
Well,
but as a mental health professional, for sure, like that's
about
not
Embry again.
No, we're not talking. No mentioning of that name.
No, she's saying
nope.
Mama Beth is on Les's panel talking about Embry.
Okay, well, we're not, and we're not. So we're not. We were asked not to at all, and we weren't before that. And we're not gonna, right? We're not gonna.
No, we're
at
not
all,
going to.
Right. Right.
But yes, so it is a 2-level thing. I agree with you that as her friend, why fuel the fire? And as a therapist, why fuel that fire? And if Mama Beth was so worried about the text, which B had already addressed in her own live stream, why didn't she DM B and say, hey, look, I'm really upset because I talked to Rainbow and her sister, and here are the texts that I got, and I'm confused. Maybe you can shed some light on it for me instead of just running to Katie and taking a known liar's side who has really hurt B. Why would you take that woman's word for anything? I'm sorry.
Are you talking about Telfer?
No, I'm talking about Rainbow Bright.
Oh, well, I don't even know that lady.
Sending her, she lied about B sending her Suboxone in the mail. That's why STS has been dragging B for months and months and months and months over something that didn't happen. Then she faked her own fucking suicide. Then her sister pops up out of the middle of nowhere. And what baffled me the most is that Mama Bear's talking to Rainbow Bright's sister, meeting her to eat, and then Rainbow Bright just shows up unknowingly out of the blue and hands all of these scripts
No,
to Mama Bear.
no. You can't tell me just shows up out of the, no.
That's what I'm saying. So she just randomly shows up out of the blue, and, Mama Beth didn't know she was going to be there, and then just opens her mouth, hands over all the screenshots, and then Mama Beth, first she said she waited a couple of days. I think that's what she said. And she said, I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it and thought about it. Then she said she sent him while she was sitting in the restaurant. And then she turned around and said, well, I didn't send him when I was sitting in the restaurant. As soon as I got in the car, then I sent him. Well, I thought you just said that you thought about it and you thought about it and you thought about it and you thought about it. So if you thought about it that much, you didn't think about it that much if you got your ass in the car and immediately sent him to Katie. I'm sorry, I call bullshit.
I agree. All of those sounds like 4 different explanations when you just said it.
So, which one is it? And, this, I don't know. Jesus Christ.
Oh, this bitch. Oh, man.
The whole thing is shady as hell. I do. What happened?
Well, and then looking at this, apparently she's still going on about someone that she should just be keeping her mouth shut at this point.
Yeah, well, Les just told her to drop it.
With this big, blow up, you would think that would be the first thing is you would go, oops, maybe something is kicking off and I don't need to make more of it, right?
Did you hear me, Sass?
Yeah. No.
Les told her to drop it. He's not happy. She's not happy.
Oh, okay, good. Good, because then, that person can just not be a topic.
Without saying that person's name, she literally just said, she told everyone I counseled her, when not an hour ago, that was her words out of her own mouth, that she counseled her. Yeah, so she's saying that she's a liar.
Well, the little snippet that I heard was that she said that she encouraged her to seek other counseling.
That was after she started backpedaling, though.
Oh, okay.
Right. In the beginning, she was all bravado, and because she was like, oh, well, she's talking shit about me right now, so let me tell all her secrets. That's exactly why she did it, because she was pissed off. But you know what? Les is telling her to drop it, and the entire chat almost is entirely disgusted with her.
Well, she just shot herself in the foot because, and I did say it in the chat, and I said, I don't know who would confide anything or DM or text anything to Mama Beth at this point. How can anybody trust her now that she's done this? And Katie did respond to me in the chat, and she said that she would trust her. And so that's up to Katie because it's not my decision. It's not about me. But I can tell you for me, I don't want to have anything to do with her, and I certainly wouldn't DM her or text her or call her. I think she showed her true colors, and she shot herself in the foot. Just my opinion.
Right.
And can I just say, the nerve of some of the people who had the balls to walk into that chat tonight and stick their asses in there and then stay after they were being yelled at over and over and over to get the fuck out blows my mind. AKA Mini Stalker, AKA Mini Stalker's best friend. You know where I'm going.
No, because I didn't know Minnie had a stalker.
Oh,
Oh yeah, Amber Sue. She's my stalker.
Oh, really?
hmm.
Yeah, I'm desperate.
I
to
only
get a
have
troll
one.
handle. That'd be
You
fun.
guys, I only have one troll so far.
You're lucky.
No. When you're successful, you get way more.
Oh.
Oh my God.
I don't even have a channel.
Sassy. When's the last time you toked?
Before I made my sausage.
I don't even.
I smoked a bowl before I made my sausage, but I'm just saying, everyone on YouTube, when you get to a certain level, everyone has haters, right? I have haters in my real life. I really do. Most of them become, they begrudgingly love me after a while, but
That's
I
all
do
I
have
always say.
haters.
Look at that my field. Look at how many fucks I grow.
Right. Well, and that's the way I am in real life. It's like, if you hate me, okay.
There's
I
fuckery
can't
afoot.
really worry about it, because if I worried about what everyone thinks, then I'm constantly going to be changing who I am based on what the world is saying. And that doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. You have to be your authentic self. And then those people who like it will like it, and those who don't won't. And that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
You're right. True.
Yeah.
I don't like every streamer. I don't like every channel, but whatever.
Exactly. But that's what makes it good, because they stick to being themselves.
Mm-hmm.
If they try to be like, did you guys see Graveyard Girl? Do you know who that is?
I've heard
of her, but I haven't ever watched her.
Well, she has like a huge channel, but she's been around for a really, really, really long time. And for a long time, I started watching her only a few years ago. But like last year and stuff, something was off. Like I just didn't enjoy her as much as I used to. And I'm blanking on his name. Shane. I want to say Shane Dawson. Shane Dawson, right? Shane Dawson. Is that right? Well, he did this thing where he went and had a consultation with her about her channel, and he basically spent a week with her, and they just kind of got down to the bottom, bare brass tacks. And she said, I have not been being my authentic self. I've been scared to be vulnerable. I've been, she was looking at all this analytics and things like that, and trying to change different things because of her audience. And that's not what you do. That's how you get away from feeling like you're not even yourself anymore, is looking outward and changing things to adapt to that. What happened?
My cat almost jumped on my head. Scared the crap out of me.
Yeah, but now she's doing the her content back to her now, and she's like, I'm just going to be me, and I'm just going to do what I like and share with you guys, and I'm going to share lots more with you guys. I feel comfortable now just being myself, and her content is already. She got 300,000 subscribers in a week.
What?
Yeah, after she announced that she was just going to be her true self. She was getting, for like the first 3 days, she got like 80,000 a day.
Ash, are you serious?
I'm dead serious. So all this time when she was struggling about her channel and how she's going to grow her channel, and she was losing subscribers, not that many, but she was losing subscribers occasionally. And she was worried about her content and all concerned and trying to force things. She was losing subscribers. The second she said, I'm going to be my authentic self and I'm going to just do me, and I love you guys and just come along with me, she got 300,000 subscribers.
Holy crap.
More than she had. And I mean, she already has millions, but she got 300,000 in a week. You can go on Social Blade and look at it. It's crazy.
Ash,
but people want to see people who are authentic. They want to see people who are their real selves.
Yeah, see, I just can't.
I want to see cheesecake.
I can't flip off who I am and on YouTube and in real life. I mean,
sorry, I was yelling at my cat. Sorry.
Where is Pirate at talking, Ash?
What?
She said, Pirate just verbatim said what Pam said the other night about everyone asked for proof, but when it comes out, everyone freaks out. Wow, fucking wow. Well, how about if everybody just minds their own fucking business and then nobody needs to be showing any proof about anything? How about that?
Oh my God. You can't say that. You can't. I love you.
You talking to me?
No, I'm talking to my husband.
Oh.
He keeps saying pooping.
Oh.
Now he's laughing at me.
Yes, she said it exactly what Pam said earlier this week in the chat at Les. I don't know what you're talking about, Ash.
I think she's having an internal conversation.
Thank
That
you.
doesn't make it better. Did you hear him? He said I could say it with a British accent. I said, doesn't make it better. He goes, I was taking a shite. You totally gross. Can't believe I married you. I said to her, well, Pirate, that sounds like Pam. Now I'm out enough. Well, listen, all right, here's the thing. I got to try to say this without being mean. It's like, you know how sometimes when leopards are born and one of the leopards might like have a missing eye or something, so like the mama will eat it or abandon it or something like that? I don't know where I'm going with this, but I think all of them should be eaten by leopards.
What, Pam and the porch people?
All of them. That's the only path I could find. I'm sorry. It started out strong and then it just kind of fizzled out in the end. So the only thing I could say was I hope they all get eaten by mama leopards. Because
Ash said, Princess just said it, you goofs.
Listen, woman, it is 2:17 in the morning, and I have currently been streaming for 3 hours, and that is just a little bit longer than I'm used to. Oh, Chaos said, dude. Oh, I love all of you.
Yeah, Ash. It's like recognizing the language and you're like, oh, wait, you sound just like this other disordered person. So no, right?
Disordered person. In layman's term, we call that douche muffins or slut puppy buttfish or
just assholes. Just complete assholes, fucktards. Ooh, have you guys heard of Maria Demo before?
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
You have, Princess? Oh my gosh.
I can't watch her very much. She's so annoying, but yeah, I click over there every now and then. She's a trip.
You're fucktard. Fucktards. You're fucktards.
I love that word. I love combining words.
If you guys haven't seen Maria Demo, she's kind of infamous, I think, on YouTube.
And she has props and she dresses up in her little costumes and, she was dancing around with a stuffed animal bear in her kitchen that is like 6,000 times bigger than she is. She cracks me up. You know she had some legal trouble, Sassy, don't you?
No.
Okay, so she had a teenage son who apparently was talking to some chick who lived in some other part of the country, who I think, if I can remember the story correctly, was like some child predator person. I don't know. Anyway, this
Good night, Blue Ridge. Sorry.
Yeah, this grown woman comes all the way, from halfway across the country to them, and Maria Demo let the lady stay there, and the lady ended up having sex or relations or whatever with her teenage son, and there was a whole legal thing about it, and Maria Demo for it. Oh yeah. There's a whole backstory there.
Wow.
No, Kimberly, I was wondering that too. Who's behind that troll account?
Where are you seeing the troll account, Kimberly?
In Les's chat. Boy,
They were in Katie's chat as well.
Aw.
I think
You're
it,
probably-
Okay, Ash said something and she said, I took my breath away when I read it. I'm still shook. Well, I can't believe what I saw. And then she said, tells me who is behind all this fuckery, whether they realize it or not.
What have you saw?
I don't know.
Bye, Blue Ridge.
Ash, is your caps lock just stuck on caps lock? Or
No, she does that
are
so
you
that we
yelling
can
because
see.
you're really upset?
No, she does
Huh?
that so we can pick out her message in the chat.
Okay, thank
She
you.
always types in all caps.
I
don't want her
I
to be
think
really upset.
Pam was in there under a troll account tonight. You can't convince me otherwise. I just don't know which one was her.
Crystal, I
Well,
also
yeah.
like the term thundercunt. It's very poetic. I use it often. Poor Katie, this is just too much for one person to have to deal with in such a short time. I can see both sides and I can get why things were said. Friends do it all the time. Yeah, listen, me and my best friend, we fight all the time, and I call her some horrible names, and she calls me some horrible names, and we vent to our side bitches, our side friends, and then they tell each other, and then that gets told, and then we fight again, and then it's okay. And then we go for ice cream, because that's what I call the nectar of God.
I've gotten to the point where I don't name call, where I try and keep even my insults sweet enough that if I have to eat my words, they taste okay. But that took some age.
Angie.
That took age. So this is why I don't have friends. Well, yeah. So Angie, just what I just said, when my friends and I get in arguments, I don't call names or anything like that, because if I'm mad about something, I can talk about what I'm mad about. And I talk about that because I'm mad about it, and I yell and scream about that behavior or whatever. And I don't really yell and scream really, but you know what I'm saying? But I don't have to name call or anything because I want to talk about what I'm actually mad about.
Y'all have to see my cat. It's ridiculous. Hold on. She's so mad.
Yeah, I know,
fluffy.
Donna. Donna said it was done in front of hundreds of people, not just between 2 or 3 friends. Yes, Donna. And I have had, I've been saying that sometimes when these creators, oh, look at you. It's so funny.
No.
When
I'm not surprised.
When YouTube creators are arguing, if they are in fact friends off of YouTube, then why not try and solve it off of YouTube?
Because that doesn't get views.
I know, but that's not what it's all about. If you're friends in real life, you're not trying to solve it for views. Kitty.
Boya.
Everybody wants to talk about, this is just YouTube. This is just YouTube. But, I've come to really care about a lot of people on YouTube and have made some of them, friends in real life. And, even if I don't talk to you off of YouTube, if we have a friendly relationship in chats or, on a panel, I just don't understand this whole, it's just YouTube, so it's okay to go and be nice to somebody's face and talk shit about them behind their back on the regular. I just don't understand it. I don't know.
You don't know?
Well, Kimberly, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Kimberly.
Kit Kat, can I just say I adore you? You don't mince words. You just
come on.
Yeah, have you seen me when I'm really upset in a chat and I just keep typing in caps and going, But thank you very much for the compliment. Yeah, I try not to. I try to be as frank as possible.
Wait a minute, Kimberly, what are you saying? I spoke about
Look at what Kimberly, that's why I said I'm sorry, Kimberly. Because look at what Kimberly just wrote. That had to have hurt her feelings. And that's the comment that Mama Beth said was, all y'all are going to pain clinics and all you guys are on pain pills. That's what you guys were talking about, huh, Minnie, when she said all you guys are addicts? Yep. Is that right?
Well, I made a comment in that chat. I said, you know what, lay off all of the drug addict talk in here. I'm so sick and tired of everybody going to that as they are to use against people. It doesn't matter what you've done in your past. And if you're in recovery, why would you want to go at somebody for something like that? It's disgusting.
Well, there's that.
Ignorant.
There's that, and then you're misclassifying a whole group of people that haven't had that issue, but maybe they have other issues that they've struggled, because we all have our stuff that we've struggled with, right?
Let me just tell you, I mean, I
Sometimes
know
it's
that
addiction, whatever.
I know not everybody on panel or in has had a problem with addiction, but some of the people that I trust, care about, and like the most have had horrendous pasts, excuse me, with you know, or
with addiction
or whatever. And so
me too.
Extremely offended, and you know, I've had my own issues, and you know, I heard somebody say, you know, in chats recently, I was so pissed off. She was like, "Oh well, you know, it's a choice." And I said, "Are you fucking kidding me? Nobody wakes up and just says, you know what? I think I'm gonna try being an addict for a little while. That sounds like fun. Like really fuck up my life, piss off a bunch of people that I really love, do some, you know, crazy ass shit that I'm gonna be mortified and not real proud of for the rest of my life. I'll try that for a little while." I mean, that's the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard somebody say ever. Like,
well, that's why I mean, because addiction, an addicted brain and an abused brain are very alike. I don't know if you knew that, but the chemical changes are very alike. And what addiction is a constant change to your brain, a constant chemical change to your brain that you become addicted. Okay. And that can happen with anything. So when people say, I mean, there's sex addicts, there's gambling addicts, there's shopaholics, there's all kinds of addictions. And so when people narrow it also just down to pills and then try and ostracize an entire section of our community, well, we all better jump in that basket, because at any given time, our own brain can be chemically changed by who we interact with the most, by who we're around, by what we're feeding it. In as far as information, you know, it can be chemically changed. And addictions it's a hardwiring of the brain in a certain way. And all people have the capacity to be addicted. I mean, a domestic violence relationship is an addiction to that other person. Mm-hmm. That's really what the target suffers, is addiction to this person that's bad for them. Addiction is doing something that's damaging your life, your well-being, and doing it anyway. That's all it is.
Right.
And whether it's a pill, a person, gambling, whatever it is.
Lacey, yeah, it is. You're right. It is gross. And Kimberly, I mean, I agree with Kit Kat. Don't listen to them. Of course, you're not an addict. You have been through more than some people go through in 3 lifetimes, sweetheart.
Right.
What they're talking about. And I can tell you from experience that I have a lot of people in my family that have suffered from addiction, and I was the judger. I was the one sitting on the other side saying, well, you know, why don't you just stop, and look what you're doing to your kids and whatever. And then, you know, by a twist of fate, you know, something switched in my brain one day, and I used to take Ambien for sleep and Xanax for anxiety. And I was in a very stressful situation, and I had taken Xanax. This has been many years ago. I had taken a Xanax, and I was still felt like I was going to jump out of my skin. And my mom said, "Oh, well, take a Xanax." And I said, "Well, I did." She said, "Take another one." So, I mean, she's my mother, and I didn't know very much about it. So I was like, okay. So I popped another one. It was on Thanksgiving Day one year. And I'm telling you, my husband has never been so upset and pissed off at me. I mean, I appeared as though I was completely smashed in front of 30 some odd people in my home that we were having Thanksgiving dinner for. And the only time in my entire life I've ever hosted anything at my house and had to excuse myself and go to bed because I was slurring my words all over the place. It was a nightmare, and a switch flipped in my brain and I was off to the fucking races. So I know what it's like to be on both sides of that issue. And it pisses me off to no end. Do not judge somebody. And you know what? God help any one of those people if it ever happens to them the way that it happened to me, out of the fucking blue, just out of nowhere, because nobody chooses it. It just happens. And
yeah,
God forbid it ever happens to them or somebody that they really love. God help
Well,
them.
I don't like judging on situations anyway. I judge people by the content of their character. I really do. And I know that I've been through past situations where I made choices that weren't good for me. I've hurt people before by my words or actions. I have, we all have. And whoever stands in judgment of someone else's situation, that's, first of all, it's not helpful at all. So if you're thinking that you're helpful, you're not. And if you're standing there in judgment because you want to be condescending or mean, that says more about you than it does the other person. Right?
Yes.
So, those people who call up people okay, there are people who have shared their addiction stories and they're living sober now. They're living sober now. They've come through it. Well, there are people who are just now suffering from maybe neglect in childhood, sexual abuse, things like that, which lead to things like addictions and stuff like that, because it's wiring of the brain. And if you're going to stand there in judgment of them, don't think that it can't happen to you at some point. Don't think that you might be in a situation where you find yourself and have to find your way out, because that's all that it is. You find yourself in a situation and you find your way out. Some people are still in the situation and they're struggling to find their way out. But it just kills me that people are constantly bringing it up in people's faces who are living a sober life now as if to punish them for it. Even an addict doing it now, the things that I know about an addicted brain right now, I wouldn't punish them with their addiction. I wouldn't mock them and make it like something I'm trying to slap them in the face with. I would tell them it's a medical problem and we need to get you help. But stigmatizing it and making it something that if you ever had a drug addiction, you're just a horrible, horrible person. Or if you've ever done XYZ, you're just a horrible, horrible person. People can learn from mistakes, and people learn and grow and change our whole life. Hopefully. I mean, my father didn't learn or change very much in his life, but he was a histrionic personality disorder. So they don't change. So that's understandable that he never did. But, most people shouldn't be standing in judgment in anybody's life, because we've all been through things that if someone else were to stand in judgment of us, it's like that saying, don't cast stones if you live in a glass house. And who doesn't?
Yeah. And Steph, I agree with you. And Sonia, Xanax is given here quite regularly for anxiety, and that's why I
too regularly.
Yes, and in the beginning, like I said, I could take it normally, but then that switch flipped, and it can cause it causes slurred speech. There are periods of time that I have no idea. I don't remember what I've done or what I've said. It's just completely like it just doesn't exist in my mind.
Also incredibly addictive.
It is incredibly addictive. I have woken up the next day to find my purse in one room and then my belongings in my purse scattered from room to room all over the house. And I've confronted, my husband. I'm like, Hal, and he was like, don't you remember getting up last night and doing that? And he was like, I didn't touch your purse. And, I mean, it's freaky. And quite honestly, I should probably be dead, to be honest with you. And
I'm glad you're not. I'm glad you're not.
I'm too.
And I'm glad that you got help, and I'm glad that you're recovering and that you're taking care of yourself. I'm glad you are. And I think that we need to encourage anyone that's out there who thinks they may be struggling with a problem or have a problem like that, or have any kind of issue, any kind of anxiety, any kind of depression, if you find yourself struggling with your thoughts and not having such a joy in your life, then go seek help.
Well,
go talk to someone.
Exactly. And Sonia, here's another thing is that, like, I have a cousin and she doesn't abuse it. She's taken it for years. She takes a Xanax every night at bedtime. She and I both suffer from the same thing where, you just can't shut your brain off at night to sleep. So I have a horrible insomnia issue. So she takes a Xanax. So I found that if I took Xanax or a couple of Xanax, that I could sleep. And I found
Oh,
that
you in trouble.
I know, and I found that by taking those, like I had so much pain from so many things that had happened in my life that I'd never dealt with, that I was like, you know what? If I take this, then it'll help me go to sleep, and then I don't have to feel what I'm feeling because I'll be asleep and I don't have to think about it. And so then I just got to the point where I was overtaking them and sleeping all the time just to avoid feeling. It's extremely dangerous. Like I would tell anybody, just stay away from it. Xanax is just, as well as Ambien. I mean, those were the two things that were my issue. Some people take Ambien and they get up in the middle of the night and they don't remember. They go drive somewhere or they cook, and they get up the next morning and there's food all over the kitchen. Well, that wasn't me. I would take an Ambien to go to bed, and then I would wake up the next day and realize, don't everybody, gasp at once. But I would get up the next day and realize I had taken 7, 8, 9, 10 Ambien.
Oh, girl.
Yeah. So that's why I said I should probably be dead.
Yeah, because that's a major oxygen suppression drug.
Yep.
Hi, little girl. What are you doing? I got a picture of you being cross-eyed. It's real funny. I'm going to embarrass you amongst all your kitty friends.
Crystal. Crystal, thank you. If you lived with me, you would probably find it quite annoying, but I'm glad that you enjoy it.
Why are you mean mugging me, man? You're the one who went cross-eyed.
Crystal's so sweet.
You guys, here's the thing.
Sonia, thank you so much, sweetheart. Go ahead.
And I always say, here's the thing. I got to stop saying that. That's just stupid. Anyway, I've said it before and I'll say it again. You need to be confident in both your issues and your triumphs. You need to be confident in the fact that they cannot hurt you. They are all air. Okay? If they release your name or your DMs, oh well. And what she said tonight was incredibly wrong. I'm not saying that. You guys know I am completely against what she did tonight. But in the other realm of things, like, I don't know, when I say I don't interfere with adults arguing is because it's just useless. It's absolutely useless. And I mean, just, I don't know. We all got to just stop. And that's why I've kept this, and thank you both for keeping this live stream on point, but kept this about the actual facts that we saw ourselves that have nothing to do with gossip or anything like that.
Right.
I think that's very important, not to perpetuate the gossip. Once it's done, let it be done. But if you have like now, I wanted to talk about the fucking medical shit, and we've done a really good job at keeping it on point. So yeah, you just gotta, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I can't articulate it well enough, but I guess what I'm trying to say is they only have the power because you let them have the power. And that's true online. That's true in your real life as well. When my sister was married, I don't understand why he's just so mean to me. Well, number one, he's a stoner asshole. No offense, Sassy, but he's an asshole. And
none taken. Look, just because they're in any group of people, and this is where I'm sorry to interject here because this is
You're
a big
fine.
deal to me. We tend to paint large groups of people, even talking ourselves. I heard someone in a stream say something about their reaction to something because they're an abused person. Okay. And they say, I was abused, and you don't know how abused people would feel with you saying XYZ. Okay. That's what the comment was kind of said. I really, really despise people who talk for other people. I was abused. I was sexually molested by several different people growing up. I was pulled out of a car when I was 23 years old and beaten pretty severely by a man that I didn't know at a stoplight. I don't think, when I read the comment that that person was talking about, I didn't have that reaction. Just because someone was an addict doesn't mean that all addicts feel the same way as they did. Just because someone was raped doesn't mean that all people who were raped in that moment feel the same way that that person does, right? So I wish, especially in this little corner, I wish people would talk more about, I feel this way, I feel that way, not painting their opinion on a whole group of people, because chances are there's people in there that don't agree with you. And assholes come in every group. So there's stoner assholes, as Minnie just pointed out. There's doctors who are assholes, and there's doctors who are wonderful. There's police officers who are assholes, and there's police officers that are wonderful. In any group of people, if you want to gather a huge group, you're going to find jerks, and you're going to find nice people. That's just the way it is in any group, anytime, any place. It's just the whole painting with a broad brush. I really object to that.
Oh my God.
And going back
Puff, puff, pass, Minnie. Puff, puff, pass, Minnie. Puff,
I
puff,
got choke on my
pass.
gum. Oh my God. Oh.
Going back to the Katie issue from earlier, I do feel bad for her. I think that.
You feel bad for who?
I feel bad for Katie. I think she's in a rough spot, and she's got people coming at her all the time, dropping information to her. I would imagine, Dr. Koala probably feels the same way. I would imagine her DMs and her email are probably, just blow up. It's hard to know because you don't know these people. I hate it when people say in real life, because I don't know.
This is real life, yeah.
Right, yeah. And so, I feel bad for Katie, but I can tell you this, that, I haven't always agreed with everything that Katie's always said. And when I didn't agree or I was uncomfortable with what was going on, I have typed in the chat, like, I can't sit here for this. I'll come back when the subject's different. Or I've left her a respectful comment on her channel, not very often. And, she's never yelled at me or attacked me for it. She's been totally fine for somebody else to have their own opinion.
Right.
But I think that she has a lot of people coming at her in all different directions. And I would imagine that she feels used a lot and played a lot. And so
not only that, the more subscribers she gets, the faker her followers get. Not the original ones, people. We are awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, Jenna, offline. Thank you.
And once again, Jenna comes through with the translation.
I
think it's got to be incredibly, and I mean incredibly, stressful to have that many followers. And I think that she does the best that she can, and she has been caught up in some fuckery, but she's never been above apologizing when she was wrong.
That's right.
And I've heard her apologize.
I really hope that that she just switches gears and just goes, you know what? I'm gonna set all this to the side and not even deal with this right now. I'm gonna do my clothing hauls. I'm gonna do my makeup. I'm gonna do all these things that I want to do because she can. I mean, it's her channel. She doesn't have to have all this stuff going on. She can just switch gears for a while and just do, like she said that when she came back from vacation, she was going to do clothing stuff and stuff. I was so excited about that. I can't wait for her to do those. And that way she can just do her own thing and just put all this back and forth, people talking, whatever, put all that to the side for now and just like sort it out. Like she, just take some time to sort it out off
but here's the thing,
her channel.
The thing is that unfortunately she's become a victim of her own success, because this is what especially to the newer people, this is what her channel is known for.
Yeah,
well, I love it.
To the newer people. But you have to realize that it's been, she has as many subscribers because this isn't all her content. Like she's done content before. Her highest videos on her channel, the most viewed videos are her turtle videos.
Well, I mean, yeah, but there's already
Not
been a
this
study
stuff.
that says that the live streams are never the most viewed videos. However,
No,
what
but
I'm
I don't mean
saying
just live
is,
streams. I mean any videos. The
right,
ones where she did the barnacle things off the turtles, those are her most viewed videos. They have hundreds of thousands of views, and none of her other videos have even close to that.
and that's because also from the YouTube con that I watched, the that like Comic-Con, but for YouTube, it is said that compilation videos get an obscenely high rate of views. In fact, I am known for watching a shit ton of compilation videos, and I think it's genius. And like I said, I'm not saying any of this to be rude, and I know you guys know that, but there comes a time when she has to make a decision of does she and it's sad. I don't think that she should have to, but I feel in my mind that it comes down to making a decision of, do I please the viewers that want the drama? Do I please the viewers that want the turtles? Or do I please myself and do whatever the fuck I want?
Well, that's what I'm
Well,
saying. When she came back from vacation, she said that's what she wanted to do. She wanted to do her clothing. She wanted to do other things. And that's what I would like to see her do, is the things she said she wanted to do. And screw
well,
the viewers, because you have to do that.
Can't say
You have
screw
to.
the viewers though, because that's where you get your count. I mean, that
Oh,
is the
no,
whole
no,
part of
no, wait. Yes, you can. Because any viewers that go away because they don't like your current content or whatever, you will get new ones. And there are people who just love everything she puts out and just watches everything she puts out. And she used to do these series. Kimberly Chari just put it in there about the fat fuck videos. She used to do fat fuck videos. And those were awesome. Those were super fun and funny. And they were just videos. They weren't live streams or anything, but it was her talking and her doing her thing. And I think her going back to just her doing her thing, the people who love her will just love her and do that. She doesn't have to have all this back and forth to have people watch her.
No, but what
well,
I'm saying is, and I'm not saying it's a definite that she is feeling this way, but it seems, because I'm not in her head, but it seems like even though she knows that she can do whatever she wants, it might be a very difficult decision for her.
Oh,
It
yeah.
might just be very difficult to choose what she wants to do. That's gotta be a limbo that none of us have really ever experienced before.
well, here's the thing. First of all, Kit Kat, yes, you always lay it on the line. You're not shy about your thoughts and feelings, and everybody adores you. I mean, I've watched you in a lot of streams, and you say exactly what's on your mind, and I have a lot of respect for you for that. Um, Hold on just a second. Oh, so Steph, I just said that a little earlier, exactly what the comment that you made is that I don't understand with all the fuckery that's gone on with Rainbow, how anybody was not in there yelling and screaming. I tried a couple of times saying, why is anybody okay that Mama Beth is talking to Rainbow and meeting up with her and her sister to have lunch? I mean, I just don't understand it. That
And
no,
then suddenly DMs are showed. What?
yeah, and that's shady as shit. That you not only are y'all talking, but you met up to have a meal together.
Or a battle plan.
Exactly. And so, Mama Beth didn't meet up with her because they're all buddy, friend. She met up with her because she wanted to get the dirt on B, and she wanted to nail B's ass to the wall because she knows that Katie's been annoyed with B right now, to get B out of the way. And you're never going to convince me otherwise. That woman is completely out for herself, her channel, and views. She's licking Katie's ass, and it doesn't have anything to be concerned, about being Katie's friend. That's bullshit.
She's vile.
And hold on. Oh, so the other thing was Katie. She did say that she wanted to go back to doing, the makeup and clothes and etc. on one channel, and on her, I think it was on, and then she was still wanted to do drama live on her other channel, but she keeps saying over and over and over, I can't be the only one that's heard it. She said, I just want to report the drama. I don't want to be the drama. But
Right.
don't let her just report the drama. That's what Katie's good at. She's good at taking a bunch of other people's fucked up situation, and we all like a little bit of drama, and we all like to watch a train wreck when it doesn't involve people that we really care about. And that includes, B and Randy and Katie, etc. And so I think Katie wants to still do, Drama Live and do those other videos as well. But she just stopped being the subject of the drama. That's what she's sick of.
Right.
Is having to do drama on herself. And that's, I don't believe, and I could be wrong because I haven't watched her from the very beginning, but as long as I've been watching her, that's what she was supposedly all about, was, having other people come on and letting them duke it out and, providing a platform for everybody to come together and, and view the drama. She has never wanted to be the drama. And so, and I'll tell you, here, this will go show you. So if Katie sees this or somebody sends her a clip of it, I'm telling you, I've said things many times in a respectful way. I did not agree with Katie being frustrated with Yaba tonight. I didn't. And I know they have to stuff, and they're going to make up tomorrow and everything's going to be fine. But, if Yaba decided that she wanted to live stream today, and she did, and we all had a great time, she shouldn't have to wait until Katie's schedule allows her to be there. That's my opinion. Doesn't mean I don't like Katie. Doesn't mean I think she's a piece of shit and I want her to just, fuck off. I just think that if Yaba was available, and she was today, and she wanted to do a live stream, good for her, and she shouldn't have to wait for Katie to be around to do so. So there you go. I disagreed with something Katie said, and she's not going to murder me for it, people.
PSA, Princess said she does not want her to fuck off. I just wanted to put that out there for those who might be recording.
That's right. I did not say that. I said that Katie doesn't have a problem when people disagree with her, as long as they do it in a respectful way. And I think that's something that we would all want.
She's not stupid. She's incredibly intelligent.
Oh, absolutely.
And she knows that people are going to have differing opinions. I mean, because that's humanity.
She has a very controversial channel. Of course she knows people aren't always going to agree with her. You're right. She's super smart. I mean, as controversial as the things that she reports on or has on her stream, whatever, she would be stupid if she thought everybody was going to agree with her. She's not. She's a smart. She knows what she's doing. She's
clearly. I mean, she has more freaking subscribers than any of us.
Exactly.
Did Sassy die?
I'm here.
Who was that? Princess, did you die? Princess? Was it a Bigfoot? Was there a Bigfoot? Did she get eaten by some terrible space monkeys? Princess? Was there a tornado?
Princess.
Did you buy a boat and leave us all?
The phone had a weird sound.
Oh, Lord. I think she might have bought a boat and abandoned us all. Were there monkeys? Some terrifying space monkeys, perhaps?
I don't know, but that was really kind of... Is that what it sounds like when phones just die? Because I thought it just went silent.
Sassy, you know what? I love you for asking that because you're always worried about your phone dying.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, God, does it sound like that when mine dies? No, it doesn't.
Well, and then that would explain it, and then we'd know that it was just her phone dying, but it sounded really crazy, like a
tornado?
Oh I don't know. Like it sounded like one of those things like, okay, it sounded dropped. Okay. Well, I hope it's just dropped, but she's not popping in the chat either. She's not popping in and saying,
oh my
God. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Did you get eaten by an alligator?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good.
I didn't know you were talking to me. That's why I didn't answer. I thought you were talking to Princess.
Because my phone just went ba-da-doo, and I was like, what?
Oh, God. But did you leave it in the freezer again?
No. No, I've been really good. The only time that I left my car or my phone anywhere was I left it in my car a couple days ago, and then I was out of commission for like 8 hours, and I didn't know I was. But when I found my phone, everyone was like, where have you been?
You're like, well, what happened was...
Yeah. I was towely, and I left my phone in the car because it's black and the interior is black in my car, and I just didn't see it. And then I just went in and went about my life, and I really didn't worry about the fact that I wasn't on my phone. And then after a while, I thought, that's weird that I haven't gotten any calls or messages. And then boom.
Sorry.
There you are.
You got bipolar bear, Jesus Christ.
My computer went to sleep, and
Why did it make that sound like a tornado, though?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
It sounded like you fell down several flights of stairs.
Yeah, it sounded, to be honest with you, I didn't want to say this out loud until I knew what happened. But I was on the phone before once with a friend who got in a car accident, and that's exactly what it sounded like.
Oh, no,
And I was like, what?
I ran
But
down
you're
the gambit. I
I'm
thought
so
you got
sorry.
eaten by space monkeys, alligators, bears, tornado. You bought a boat and abandoned us. All these things.
She was abducted by aliens. The Mandela effect happened, and you were in an alternate universe.
Katie was really pissed at me, and she just showed up at my door and beat my ass. And I don't know where I got cut off. I'm so sorry.
It's okay, but we were very concerned about the polar bear that ate you.
Well, I don't know how long I went on talking before all of a sudden I was like,
You were only gone for what, 30 seconds?
I was like, you know what I mean? And nobody said anything. I was like, I don't think what I said was bad.
You're like,
Kit
fuck,
Kat,
I've
Kit
lost the
Kat.
audience.
Kit Kat. Sorry, Kit Kat. We weren't alarmed. We were more like, or weren't panicked. We were more alarmed. Like we hoped something didn't happen. And for me, I was remembering a call where I was on with a friend where something did happen. So I was like, oh gosh, I hope that's not what happened. So that kind of, came up because I have experience with that.
I personally was hoping it was space monkeys.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying. No one will buy me a space monkey. Okay. Well, you guys,
no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think I'm gonna kill it there. I have to get up early tomorrow so I can go shopping. And
Shopping?
yeah. I'm going to the
What are you shopping
mall
for?
for some god awful reason. Memorial Day sales, what?
Oh.
So I think we've been going for like 4 hours now. They
Yeah.
don't exist, Minnie.
Oh,
What
wait a
doesn't
minute.
exist?
I made Vixen
Space
mad.
monkeys.
Space monkeys.
Wait, you made Vixen mad? Vixen, are you mad? Exactly, Angie. Winston is a space monkey in Overwatch. Wait, what? What's going on? Why is Vixen upset?
I have no idea.
Is she upset?
Apparently, she doesn't like what I say.
She just said Rainbow's not one to trust, though, and I'm just saying that. Is she upset?
Oh, no, she's not upset. She's just stating her opinion. That's what she said.
Okay, good.
Winston doesn't. Wait, listen here, you fun killers. Stop killing my space monkeys, okay? They exist. You don't know. You haven't traveled to every single freaking universe. They can exist. Don't kill my fun.
Yeah, Kit Kat, that's what I was saying. Yava and Katie do this all the time. They're going to be fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah. They've gone through breakups and getting back together a lot. So
Yeah,
they're
that's
good.
just the nature of their relationship.
Yeah. They get mad at each other and then they get back to being friends again and then they're mad at each other. This has been going on for ever since Katie started a channel like a couple years ago.
Well, I think Vixen's upset with me. She said a lot of you is blah, 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 and I don't understand what that means.
Vixen's upset? No, she said no.
Oh, good. Okay. Oh, Vixen, you scared me.
Enjoy shopping. Please show what you bought. Let's see. Well, listen, girl. It's probably going to be all perfume because I have a problem.
That's awesome, Minnie. Please do a perfume haul. And then you can describe the scent and you can say, this one is a fruity, blah, blah, blah. This one, what kind of scents do you like? I like fruity ones, if you couldn't tell, because I always talk fruity.
I like yeah, yep, Gucci Guilty, and I like the darker, thicker scents.
So like the musky ones or like the, like Chanel No. 5?
I do not like Chanel. It reminds me of my grandmother. Like kind of sandalwoody, you know?
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
But listen, I would be really bad at explaining how perfumes smell because when I used to use Hugo Deep Red, which I love, my mom's like, well, what does it smell like? I'm like, it smells like sex in a bottle. And she's like, what are you talking about? Well, what does that smell like? I'm like, I don't know. Like a bottle that's filled with sex. I'm just saying, it's delicious. He was like, fucking Christ. I'm no good at
Well-
explaining sense.
Okay, so I guess I'm gonna go to bed too. I hope Katie's okay. I feel really bad for her, and
I just think this whole thing blew up and it didn't even need to. And the whole thing became a crap show because of Mama Beth's actions, and that had nothing to do with Katie.
no,
Right.
and I just wish that Mama Beth hadn't stirred her up, and I just don't. I don't, like I said earlier, I don't trust Rainbow, and so I just don't know why anybody's giving any credit to any of that. I feel
Yeah.
Okay, I have to say, I have to call this out because Ash, this was so funny. She just put in, no problemo, Kimberly. And well, according to Savage and Sam, I never sleep and catch everything. So I will get them if they slip. LMAO.
yeah, Ash, I did say that.
I love you, Ash. You're
Ash
so
is so funny.
Sonia and Kimberly, I will definitely try to find those and smell them. I think I've smelled Black Opium. I didn't like that one very well. I actually do want to try Flower Bomb, so I will check that one out as well. And I want to try Gucci Bamboo. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
shit
do a
does not
perfume
smell-
haul. Once you're done, do a perfume haul, girl.
If that Gucci bamboo does not smell distinctly like pandas or bamboo, I'm going to be so upset.
I'm liking the whole bamboo thing that's coming out.
I've never smelled a panda, but I'm hoping it doesn't smell like oranges because that would just be a dumb name for a perfume that smells like oranges.
Well, I have bamboo, these little sachet things that I put in my car, and it makes my car smell like almost like a cucumber melon, but more fresh, more naturey, if that makes sense. So it's very clean, but yeah. So you'll have to let us know.
I did buy like last this past February, I bought Ralph Lauren Woman, and it smelled so good in the store, so I bought a huge bottle, and now I can't fucking stand it. And it was like $130 bottle. And I was like,
Wow.
fuck. I mean, it smells like old lady perfume, and they're like, the sales lady was like, you can only spray one spray, right? Because it's really strong. So I spray that one spray, and I just end up hating the way that I smell all day long. So I don't use it. It's pathetic. Anybody wants it, let me know.
Hey, does anybody know?
What is it called?
Ralph Lauren Woman.
Oh, I'll go smell it and see. Did we know what, Princess?
I said, I bought that Miss Fucking Wonderful T-shirt at Rosie's auction, and y'all did such a great job on those. And I mean, it fits perfect, and I've gotten a shit ton of compliments off of it. Is Java going to start selling?
They said they were.
Okay, they did. I missed that.
I think Yaba got a t-shirt machine or something. I don't know. They said they were. I hope they do.
I hope they do too. A lot of people have been asking about it. So y'all's done a really good job with that. I'm impressed.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for keeping it once again civil in the chat. This is the second stream where we've had a very, very smooth chat. And thank you, my panelists, for keeping it on point and not straying too far. And I will definitely try to do a haul video tomorrow. If not, I will do it on Sunday after I go see Avengers. So, anyone else have anything to say? Thank you.
Yeah, have fun. Enjoy your day at the fighting everyone in the sales.
Blue Ridge, listen here. Don't judge me because I like it dark and thick. She said, love y'all, keep it dark and thick. You know what I mean.
Good night to everyone in the chat.
Right.
Princess, this is the first stream that I was on with you, Princess, and I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Oh, me too. I love you, girl.
first with you too, Princess.
Oh, Minnie, you know I adore you.
I adore you too.
Night,
Okay.
girls.
Good night, guys.
Good night. Good night,
Bye.
everyone.